Question of the day. Okay, so we're gonna proceed. Today's question of the day. How close are you with your extended family? Cousins, etc. All right.
Foreshadowing.
Your computer is being a mess? Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like how I immediately thought of the answers twice. I was like, well,
Yep,
know
so
the answers for my people.
For those of you and sorry about the choppy start, everyone. So, for those of you who are new, welcome to my Big Fat Theron Wedding. It is our D&D campaign set in the world of Theros, which is a Magic the Gathering setting, but it's a little bit gayer. And it's brought to you by Los Angeles Gaming Society. And for the intros, I'm going to have people say their names and their pronouns, as well as their character's name, pronouns, and race and class. And then answer the question of the day as both themselves and their character. So starting with Jonathan.
Yeah, my name's Jonathan. My pronouns are he, him. And I'm playing Kopaka, a level 2 Leonin Ranger. Leonins are the cat people in Theros. As far as how close I am with my extended family, I'm the only one that's west of the Mississippi, actually, so I don't really talk to them that much. While Kopaka, on the other hand, a lot of his extended family was killed when he was young by hellhounds that came up from the ground. So he doesn't have much extended family to be close
Whoa.
with. That is until he was invited to this wedding.
Nice, thank you. Christina, before you go, I'm actually going to transition the images stuff, and it's going to take a second.
I always have to pause it because I get dizzy.
Yeah, makes sense.
Are you sure it's not the wine?
All right.
So shady.
So
I can.
Oh, shady.
I'm not shady. I'm not
It's 1 o'clock.
okay,
Neil's already in
Don't be
character.
shady, be a lady.
because I'm going to pull up visuals on our World Anvil page while we have.
Is that from Skyrim?
Yeah, it's a.
No, that's Kopaka.
It's Kopaka.
That's
It's not just a
from
Khajiit.
Skyrim. No, that is a Khajiit.
No, that's
That is-
Kopaka.
You're right.
No, that I'm not doing this with you people. I've played more Skyrim than any other 5 games combined. I know Khajiit when I see them.
But you don't know which Khajiit that is?
If y'all want to join the
I know
live
what it is.
you
You do?
World Anvil stream, the adventurers, that way you can, if you post something in like the live feed thing.
How do we join the World Anvil stream? Is it just intercession?
Is
Intercession, yeah. Multiple streams, no Ethernet cable.
Oh, there's no picture of me. Oh my god, Chris.
Oh, who's shady now?
Your
Okay.
picture of Chad
It's
is
important. Okay.
next level.
CW Rogers in chat says it's important to him that Jonathan reveals what Kopaka's height is. It's extremely important. So, how tall is Kopaka? Remind us.
How many
Kopaka is 6'7",
Mm-hmm.
taller than the average.
Bear.
person. Yeah.
I'm so short. I'm the shortest.
Sorry, I've
Chad's
watched
pretty
way
short.
too much Yogi Bear growing
On
up.
Theron dating apps, you're probably not in Kopaka's height range, Jamil.
Oh my god.
Apparently not.
Oh my god.
All right, Christina, introduce and talk about extended family.
Okay.
Can we
Sorry, what was that,
define
Gina? extended
extended family?
family?
Can we
People who
define
are
extended?
not-
Because for Latinos, it might mean something real different.
You're fair. For the context that I was trying to imply is people who are not your direct parents or siblings.
Okay.
Because you're
Yeah.
right, it is very different in different cultures.
Yeah,
and
for
different-
us, that's like a family. Like my
Right,
cousin,
right.
everything. It's our family. Like extended family is like my second, third cousins that 23andMe tells me I have.
Well, fair. But then that would be part of your answer, right? I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
Or you can
sorry,
talk about your
sorry,
actual family too,
Christina.
but basically I didn't know. The reason I didn't just say family is because not everyone would be able to speak about parents and or siblings, both in real life or in character, depending on the relationships they have with those people.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Sorry to take over, Christina.
No worries.
I wanted to clarify.
So, in real life, the majority of my dad's family is in Chile or Mexico. So so I'm literally not close to my dad's side of the family. My mom's family, almost all of them are in Honduras. Again, literally not close to her family either.
Yeah.
The few members that are in North America, not super close. I mean, we do Christmases, but that was when I was on the East Coast and I was closer to them. But I haven't physically seen them in 4 years since I moved here, so not super close. And then in Jaina land, I'm Christina. I am she her. Jaina is a centaur druid, level 2, she her. And then Jaina, not close to extended family.
Groovy. Chris, if you could help them out. If not, no worries. Y'all don't have to be.
Zoom.
It's in the Zoom chat. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
So
that's what I clicked on. I clicked on your link and it took me to a 404.
I ended up in a very weird picture
All right.
of like a twink.
Can you describe?
Does the
With
twink
very,
look suspiciously
very-
like Troy Sivan or Chris?
Yes, with very dilated eyes.
Yes.
That's just Chris. Yeah.
So do I click on his face?
That is Felix. I don't know.
I mean, you can get his consent first.
Try again now. I just made a change. So for the people in the chat that are joining in, I'm actually going to mute my Zoom audio for a second, y'all, so can I talk to the chat real quick? If I can find that. Okay. So, for those of you looking around, this is the World Anvil page. I shared it in the chat a few minutes ago. World Anvil is kind of like the Wikipedia page for the world of our campaign. Or rather, World Anvil is the program that we used to have this kind of wiki of our page. And you can look at interesting things about the characters. Ooh, Alistair's updated his art. Including things like episode summaries with links to the YouTube videos. So for example, episode 1, The Wedding, if you're starting from scratch. You can watch the episode, you can go and read about the different characters, including some of the NPCs. Not everything has been added, but like Yagos, the liquor thing. And NPCs like Talia, who I only linked in the first mention. Here we go. Talia, etc., etc. So it's pretty cool. You can even look at the map. So right now the party is... Actually, I'll show the map in a minute when I'm back talking with people on Zoom. They're trying to figure some stuff out, and I'm going to rejoin them.
And Chad would say that he's extremely close to his family.
Y'all, wait. Were you doing intros without I was gone?
Yeah, I was starting my intro.
Were we not supposed to do that?
I had y'all muted because I was talking to the chat for a bit.
Oh.
I didn't realize that. I thought I said that loud and clear, but I guess I
thought you were muted.
Yeah, so that and then we could talk to the chat.
You were muted.
My bad. That was not clear at all. I'm very sorry. What is the status of you all finding the? Let me actually see what I can see.
What you call a breakdown in communication right there.
Did y'all find the World Anvil live session stream, or are we giving up on that? Because I'm totally giving up.
Is it?
We're doing D&D Beyond for this session.
Yeah.
I found the picture of Felix.
Okay. I mean, basically, you can use World Anvil during the stream. It's just going to be that we're not doing the live stream thing where everyone can see dice rolls and stuff like that. But yes, we'll use D&D Beyond. I'm still going to have visuals up here on World Anvil for the audience and you all to look at. I'm so sorry. So I presume Cannon did his intro while I was talking to the chat.
No, we were just with Chris.
Chris did.
We jumped on to Chris. Okay.
Yeah. I just figured you knew my backstory, so you didn't need to hear it again.
Okay, but the chat didn't hear any of it.
Okay. Do I go through it again?
Yes,
Yep.
please.
My name is Chris. My pronouns are none. My backstory, family, I have a separate family Facebook for my family because that's how much I have a bad relationship with them. But I'm still trying. And then Ched would say, "Hey, bros, my name is Ched. My pronouns are he, him, his." My relationship with my family is like pretty tight. We talk all the time. I mean, like they aren't really returning any of my notes or messages, and like I have an appointment to see them 3 years from now. But like we're really tight.
That's great. And yes, Ched is a satyr bard.
Yes.
As you can see him, he's general physical descriptions are handsome for all
I can't. It's
parts.
so funny. And the photo that he has is so funny.
Oh, you know what, y'all? I just Canon.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Oh, right. We're doing ourselves. Hello, I'm Canon. My pronouns are he, she, they, and I also accept third-person pronouns. Any and all pronouns are acceptable. I like them all. My character's name is Alistair. He is a Minotaur paladin. He is a disciple of Heliod. Canon, the person, parts of my extended family I'm close to, parts that I'm not that close to. The Cuban side of my family I'm very close to. The white side I'm not that close to. We just don't really talk that often. They're kind of religious. Alistair is not particularly close with his family, but that's not necessarily his fault. And we might find out more about that as the story progresses.
Yes, maybe even this
tonight.
episode.
Maybe.
And then last but certainly not least, Jamil.
Hi, my name is Jamil. My pronouns are he, him. I play Michiru, who is a male rogue, a Triton rogue. Tritons are the merfolk of the world that we are in. So think of like a water mer person. I am no longer that close with my extended family. I was like super, super close with them when I was growing up. And when I kind of came out, I kind of like distanced myself from everybody just because I come from a religious background, neither here nor there. So yeah, so that's my story. I am Michiru is not close to anybody from her past, his past at all.
Did you want to? Because not everyone who's in the audience tonight was there during. So let me give a brief, 2 parts of the brief intro. So we didn't have the last time you all saw us was 3 weeks ago, more or less at this point, was when we had episode 6, and we're currently doing episode 7. We had a week off, and then last week we did some vignettes and character building and backstory stuff. Not all of our players could be there. Cannon was sick, and Jonathan just moving into his new place, which you can see in the background of his camera stuff. It didn't have internet yet. And so last week we didn't have a new episode, but there was some content. And there we got a preview of some character development, including Jamil, did you want to talk a little bit about your character?
Yeah, so my character, so the character is the same, like the character hasn't changed, same backstory. Well, the backstory has changed a little bit, but same motivations, same race, same everything. The only thing that you will see a change is personality. I basically dragged it up a little bit, little bigger personality, more out there. So you guys will see a lot more dragisms, if you will, and things like that. So basically, overall, it's going to be a bigger personality because while I was playing too much to the rogue side of him, like quiet and mysterious. But the other side, which is the drag character, I really want to embrace that. And then the rogue aspect of it is more of like nobody knows that he's that. Nobody knows that. So that's like the hidden side of him. So. Yep. So that's kind of what you'll see. You'll see a little bit more of an outgoing personality that is still like hides a part of himself, but like, maybe it's a facade. Maybe it's just all an act.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
And we have not seen Amfried come out to play since that first episode, more or less. Amfried is the first drag persona, the main drag persona of Michiru.
Yes.
And they have their own World Anvil page now. CW Rogers in chat wanted to point out the funny height difference between Kopaka and Ched, because Ched is like he's like 5'4", something like that.
Yeah, Ched's 5'4".
Yes. Sorry about that. I was confused.
Teeny and young. Look at the youngin.
I think it's like 5'9".
Alistair, did you change your age, by the way?
Yeah.
Let me see how old you are now. Ooh, and this new image. Hello. Who is
Chris
this?
thought that would be a good idea. Chris
Not
thought
very
the stream would
accurate.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Does the stream like it?
Stream, do you like this?
I said that I would totally have a drunk one-night stand with Alistair's character profile.
Mm-hmm. There we go. I had
Not
to
wearing his
refresh it so
armor.
it's easier to see. For some reason,
Those are some
Kopaka's
real
isn't
horns.
showing up here. But it shows up in
Also-
another place.
What does it mean I've given up on life?
Pardon?
Oh, CW
Oh,
Rogers.
from
said that I-
earlier. That's when you had to do the intro second time and you were really exasperated.
Oh,
You're like,
I'm sorry.
okay.
It's like talking about my family more than once in one day is like
That's fair.
valid. By the way, this map is amazing. It's so helpful.
Good.
You know, I really love big, thick, juicy maps.
Mhm.
So this is great.
Exactly. Tags has a crush on Alistair now. Oh, that was the other thing. I have to apologize. So, there was one instance where Alistair was misspelled on D&D Beyond,
Gas.
and because of that, I used that spelling everywhere for the past whole time we've been doing this campaign, and I've only just corrected it when I realized that the name was spelled with an I, Alistair, not Alistair.
Mm.
And,
Cannon, he's been worried about this for like 3 days.
well, partially because now I've got to go through like all of this basically, if you go through World Anvil, there'll be places where it's still spelled incorrectly. I've tried to go through and get a lot of them. But if y'all are wondering why the spelling is different, that's because I've been using the wrong one.
Cannon's just gonna have to copyright both of the names now.
Yeah, it's fine. I can be both.
If
It
Cannon
is
please-
Alistair, like Alistar, not Alistair, right?
Alistair.
Yeah.
Oh god, okay, whatever, I can't. I'm just gonna not talk about you or to you. So the overall goal, if you're someone who's like, what is this whole campaign about again, since it's been like forever, they're at the wedding of George and Lua. Everyone but Jaina was at the wedding of George and Lua, where all the other guests fell unconscious, basically dead to the floor, except for Talia. And they got an omen from the god of poison and medicine, Farika, that said, okay, y'all have to go to a place, because there you'll be able to kill some sort of really powerful creature, some sort of beast, and basically within that beast lies the answer for the recipe for the cure. So there are almost to the location of that beast thing. Where's my map?
By the way, I'm really hoping that we cut its head off and a little box falls out with a piece of parchment on it that has the recipe written.
I don't know. Maybe y'all will hear another fable about that. Know what to expect. Here we go. Here's the label map. We went from Melitus down here to, and now they've just arrived at the gates of Akros, which, if you're trying to visualize it in your head, people, think about Sparta. It's basically Sparta, not even real Sparta, but like Sparta from the movie 300 is more or less what Akros is like.
But gayer.
But gayer, even gayer.
Somehow more homoerotic.
Yes. And the destination they're trying to get to is all the way over here, but they're making a pit stop in Akros because they're escorting some merchants who are trying to sell things and then pay for medicine to bring back to the unconscious wedding guests to make it so they survive a little bit longer. So when we left off, two voices were calling out to Alistair. And we're going to pick up from there, and I'm going to give you all a little visual aid, if I can. Can you all see this?
Yes.
So this is a map of Akros
Oh my god, I'm so turned on. Look at this map.
that someone else had made, and there's a
Oh.
there's a subreddit for Dungeon Masters of Theros, which I'm excited to have discovered. Yes, they have
This
come a
kind of
long way
looks like
already,
a
haven't
Club Penguin background.
they? Pardon?
It kind of looks like, reminds me of Club Penguin.
That's hilarious.
I'm sorry, it looks beautiful though.
But in front of the city itself, actually, why don't I pull up the Akros article in a new tab? Because then y'all can see official art and also this very important picture of the Colossus of Akros, which is a giant statue that you all can see as you're approaching. You're at the gates of the city, and you see this giant figure standing there imposingly to remind people the strength of Akros.
I don't know, I feel like Jonathan is taller. Or sorry, Jonathan is taller.
Yes, well, you can see for scale the homes that go up to its ankles, etc. But
Do we have any bananas for scale?
say it again.
Do we have any bananas for scale?
Oh, if only we had some Akron bananas.
Yeah, it's a shame. Okay, so we are at the gates. Actually, I'll have to keep the Colossus image because you're standing at the gates.
This is so stressful.
It is. well, I guess that does make sense. God, there's so much to try to remind people of because it's been so long.
Should we do a session recap so people know where we were at?
Yeah, we should do that. I'm a little forgetful as well if someone else wants to take it.
But I know.
I mean, I know the gist of it. So basically, we made our way from the guard encampment. It was some kind of fort or something.
Yes.
Mhm.
The guard encampment outside of the city.
Where Chad slept with basically everyone, which is in character. We all had dreams where we saw our patron gods, and they all had different messaging for us. After that, we all woke up. Kopaka had stolen from me and accosted me in the middle of the night for no reason, which he still hasn't explained. But whatever, it's fine. Hey, I'm talking. A little respect, please. Thank you. Then we all decided to leave the fort and make our way to Akros proper. In our possession is a bag of mysteriously tainted evil coins that we don't really truly understand the nature of, that the majority of the party believes we should keep an eye on because it might be pertinent to not only our mission to save our friends, but the larger plot or mission that is going on involving our patron gods.
And who currently is holding those coins?
Michiru, I
We
believe?
should do your prop handy. Yes, there we go.
Yeah. And then as we approached the outer gate of Akros, two familiar voices called Alistair's name. Is that a pretty good summary? Did I miss?
There's one thing I want to.
I would also like to know our marching order. Just
Ted
'cause
had
I
crying
forgot
sex.
Very important.
Listen,
Yes.
it was a
That was
7.
very important.
It was basically a 10 out of 20 sex.
I can't.
Sorry, I wanted to. I had to make a change where I published.
I listened to your whole story, Canon, and I was like, I'm waiting for him to mention
the crime.
that
crying.
moment. It's so
Yeah.
important.
It really is. I just brought it up.
There's nothing in life like just rolling to see how your sex went.
You
Just rolling a
performed.
d20 and being like, oh, I got a 10.
So there are also with the party are 3 merchants. The people
Yes.
who are
Right.
trying to bring some goods to sell, use that money to buy. Actually, this is much more clearly laid out in the graphic of Seep. Bring goods to Akros to sell. Use that money to purchase medical supplies. Return the medical supplies to Militus ASAP, which is where the wedding was. So the 3 merchants with them are Seeb, a centaur merchant, Espa, whose picture I did not add, but she is the one associated with Theros, whose coins you took.
We don't trust her.
And she was just charmed by Jaina when we last left off. Is that correct, Jaina?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about to come crashing down on us, actually.
I would assume at this point, because I think it's an hour.
Yes.
I would assume there's 50 to 55 minutes still left. We were like really close to the gate because basically we just had like a couple questions and then immediately we were at the gate.
Exactly. The person most front at the gate before Alistair came up to help was Felix, the suspiciously over-friendly merchant.
Yeah.
He was also the merchant accused of attacking Nikki, one of the hoplites from before. Which, by the way, I just want to show for a second, and it's not done yet, but I made an article where I'm like, I'm not going to make an individual article for all the Nicks. And by the way, I'm spelling Nick with 2 Ks. All 4 Nicks are going to be listed in this one article. Because there's Nick, Nikki, and Gus. Who are the...
One of the Nickies is now dead.
Yeah, that was unavoidable.
And that was Nick Omega. Nick Alpha, Beta, and Gamma are all still alive. And that's Gamma with a C, don't ask where.
Fair.
Which did I sleep with?
I'll
Probably
check
the
my notes.
Alpha.
I think it was actually Gamma. Actually, I'll check. I'll have to check. I am now distracted, and basically because I've worked in D&D so much today, my ability to focus, and we're not even like in the proper session, and we're like 50 minutes in, is deteriorated so much that I'm like, I now feel like I have to pull up my notes thing because I closed my windows so I wouldn't lag as much. Which Nick was it? It was Nick Gamma. Chris ran away in shame for his perfectly adequate sex with not even the alpha, not even the beta.
Not even the alpha.
Yeah. Felix approached the gate, and they were asking to see his credentials because, unlike most merchants, they didn't come with a wagon of goods. That's because the giant lizard, Jaina, had destroyed their wagon, which is also partially why the party felt responsible and like they had to help them hand carry goods into Akros. And because they didn't have papers or qualifications or merchant stuff, Alistair stepped up and was recognized by 2 different voices. Oh, Alistair! Yo, is that really you? I haven't seen you in so long! Alistair recognizes the tall human as someone he once knew named Commander Sphodius, but now would be better known as, General Sphodius. You know this man? I was waiting to respond. I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my old pal Alistair. Alistair, how are you? Out of the corner of the party's eye, before Alistair can respond, there's a blurred shape that sprints towards Alistair that is stopped with Sphodius' arm. And it is a clearly angry woman who seems to be half Minotaur, half human. And she's panting heavily and saying, "Let me at him, let me at him."
Oh boy. I think I know who that is.
So you were asked, is that really you, Alistair?
I'm afraid it is, old friend. It's good to see you.
Well, there's no need to be afraid other than here's your cousin here wants to have some forceful words with you. I'm going to kill you! Yes, I'm sorry. Xanthipus, you will have to not kill Alistair for at least another few minutes while we have a little chat.
I respect knowing my life is in your hands, at least for the time being.
So, party, you're able to see and hear this forceful introduction.
Mishu, what on earth is going on?
We can't hear you, Jamil.
You're muted.
There we go. Sorry, I always forget when I'm mute here. I don't know, but that one over there needs the 5 Gs.
What
Good
are
girl.
what are those?
Oh, good gargoyle. Get a grip. What is wrong with you?
Espa
Yeah,
turns
do you
to
know of this?
Jaina and asks, are you familiar with these people?
I'm not, but I'm still interested in your story if you'd like to tell me in the meantime.
Love that.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to talk to you since you do seem really friendly, but I also want to make sure we're safe before I start, my diatribe. At this point, Sphodius has motioned some other soldiers to block Xanthippus, the one who's introduced as Alistair's cousin, the half Minotaur woman. So she's like 3/4 human, 1/4 bull. I guess if that's how the math checks out. I am your commanding officer. You unhand me right now. No, actually, pull her back for another second. Seems that she is not quite greeting our guest in a proper fashion. Alistair, what is your business here with these merchants?
Apologies for visiting unannounced and unexpected, but we've come on urgent business. George has fallen ill. He's been poisoned by some mysterious force in Melodus on his wedding day. We've come to Akros with these merchants. They are trading these poisonous supplies for remedies that will hopefully prolong George and the rest of the wedding party's life. I humbly implore you to help us with this task while we are here, and I promise I will leave as soon as possible.
One of the hoplites pipes up, General, permission to speak to the guest? Granted. Wait, who is that? Why the other wedding guests have not returned? How many people there were injured? What's the situation over there? I was expecting my wife back 2 days ago.
I'm sorry to report something, but everyone at the wedding was poisoned. Everyone except for those of us you see before you.
And that's only because we didn't eat the cake.
And even worse, there's this giant flower growing on my horn, bro.
I don't eat carbs.
There's talking amongst themselves among the hoplites nearby, and Sphodius's face seems very stern and concerned. Well, then how can we help? What can we do?
A lot of the supplies were damaged by some of your men over on the other side of the river. We need to get these supplies sold in the town for money so that we can get remedies back to Melodus. And we should probably have some additional supplies as well to make sure everyone at the wedding will be safe.
Understood. The Xanthippus pipes up. How do we know they're telling the truth? How can we trust this traitor after everything he's put us through? Why would we believe him?
Believe me when I say Xanthippus, the last thing I want to do right now is stare into your face.
She spits at your face. Do you attempt to dodge?
Can I do a what do you call it? Persuasion check, or
what
try to persuade them? I want to persuade them that we are innocent and that we're trying to help, and that we are this flower on my head is going to kill me.
All right. Make your statement and then roll for persuasion. Roll for deception, or roll. I think you would be rolling for deception because of the flower thing. Although maybe if you genuinely believe that, I guess.
I genuinely
roll for persuasion.
Bruh, listen. If the lives that are poisoned, 200 lives aren't enough for you, which was, by the way, an awesome killer party. But like, they don't deserve to be poisoned. But even worse, I don't deserve to have this ugly flower on my head. And I really need you to believe in us that we are just trying to get help. Okay, so now I'm going to do a persuasion check. We'll see if this goes well. 12.
All right, I'm making some rolls real quick.
Honey, that flower is an improvement, like I've told you 1,000 times already.
So, Sodius replies, "All right, let's let them in and make sure that no one causes any trouble. I know that those who remember Alistair might view him as a contentious figure in the city, but trust me, I know he's got a good heart and they're doing the right thing. So we should let them in. And Xanthippus, you need to let them help. I still don't believe them. But
If you still don't trust us, one thing that I think would be beneficial to everyone is to have some of your men accompany these merchants back to Melitus, protect them on their way, and make sure all the supplies get safely to Talia."
Felix pipes up, "Oh yes, that would be most appreciated.
I'm sure he'd love your company too.
I always like new friends." The
Beware, you like
General
to talk.
Sodius says, "You two, let Xanthippus go. Xanthippus, if you lay a finger on them, you will be answering to me. You mentioned that some of the other soldiers down the way resulted in the injury of the merchants' goods. I'm curious to hear, Alistair, do you remember which platoon that would have been? What type of squadron?"
Oh, can I do an insight check to see if I would know that? Because I thought earlier when I tried to recognize them, I couldn't.
You didn't recognize them beforehand, but you might be able to pass on some identifying details if you recall any.
Can I get a hint? Because I do not remember.
Maybe the names of one or more of the people?
Oh, it was a squadron of primarily Knicks, believe it or not. Do you have a squadron
like
of
the night
nothing
sky?
Knicks? Yeah.
Oh, the Knicks and Nikki and Gus.
Yeah.
Oh, those troublemakers. Okay, I will have to give them a talking to. You know what I mean? Okay. Well, I'll thank you for that. I will be directing some troops around. Make sure if anyone gives you any trouble here in the city, let me know. And I'm watching you, Xanthippus. And she kind of storms off. And the guards kind of move out of the way so you all can enter the city.
Thank you, Sophodius. We appreciate it. Me particularly.
All right, so they're murmuring to themselves, and you all are let through the main gate, which is kind of like on this map, I guess, like over here. There should be multiple gates in and out of the city, but they're not on this map. But you're going to be entering more or less through this side, so, from this perspective of the map.
Right.
Anyone want to make any comments or talk to other people as they walk through?
Story time. Story time.
Jaina,
Yes.
why don't you spend some time with Espa trying to find a place to sell these goods?
Agreed.
Felix pipes up, "Oh, I think all of the merchants should be there for that. That is what we do, after all."
Right. Thank you, human.
I told you there was nothing to worry about these fine people. They're just trying to help our friends back in Melitus.
Big words for someone who stole from me and attacked me in the middle of the night. With
You
literally
stole
no
from them first. We can't be going around being bullies to everyone else.
Bro, I got a question. So, like, Alistair, like, these people seem to be not your bros. Like, what happened?
Oh boy, that's a very long story. Save it to say that there, at many points in time in the past, have been a bounty on my head for crimes in the city of Akros.
So, like, how can we trust you that you didn't poison all the people at the wedding?
I'm afraid you'll just have to take my word for it.
Bro.
Shall we make our way to the market? Unless anyone else has any questions about my loyalties.
Felix pipes in, "Wait, so you all are going to be heading to the market while we sell these goods? Would you like any of us to help you with your shopping?"
Don't you have goods to sell yourself?
I was under the impression, human, that we were accompanying you to the market. Perhaps you should lead the way. Far away from me.
All right. Nothing like some, chummy chives at each other. I see you. I see you. So let's proceed.
I can't stare at Felix's that face you made for very long.
upsetting.
It's so creepy.
Upsetting. Been rolling
Stares
way
into your
too long.
soul.
Okay. So as you walk this way, Espa starts talking to Jaina. I made quite a few journeys here, and this is the most eventful one so far. I'm glad Athros is with us to bless our passage.
God, she's crazy.
Any response?
Do you feel safe now? Would you like to tell me the story? Jane is just focusing on one thing. She honestly doesn't care. If it's not the story, she doesn't care.
Remind me what you want to know.
Okay, wait. I have to think. 3 weeks ago, the quest. I think I started it by
The coins. We want to know about.
Yeah, but specifically, I think it was that I was asking her why she was collecting the coins, and I think then she said, "Oh, that's a really long story," and then we got to the gate. So the story would be why are you collecting the coins? Like, why are they special? Because she's looking for one coin.
Yes.
But she hasn't said why is she looking for the coin, and that's the answer that Jaina was looking for.
Or why she's holding on to the existing coins if they're not the one coin she's looking for.
Yeah. Oh. And also, why do they have the magical aura as well? Mm-hmm. But that wasn't the question. This specific question is just the story of why is she collecting coins? What is the one coin that is, and why is it special?
And none of this matters to Jonathan for some reason, because he'd rather just give the coins back.
I'm sorry, I don't think that we should just be stealing things from people and then holding it as leverage to get them to do what we want.
We're not stealing. She gave them to us. We just haven't given them back yet.
She's asking for them back.
Yeah, I'm still borrowing them. I don't know what the problem is.
We're more than happy to give them back when we know that they have no bearing on what's currently happening to us or the people who were poisoned at the wedding.
Well,
right, but of everyone, you're the most suspicious now, given your unsavory past with people who were friends with people at the wedding.
So I think y'all are having that conversation out of earshot of Espa, or at least Espa's too enthralled with her new friend Jaina to pay attention.
I honestly couldn't tell if you guys were in character or not. I was like, Is this a character moment?
Yes, it is an authentic character
it's a
moment.
Character.
I love that this is the Marvel superheroes arguing with each other moment.
I mean, that's more of what I'm hoping for y'all to see and do. Anyway, well, you see, how much do you know about Athros?
Honestly, very little.
I was here drunk once, but I don't really remember, but 1/3 of the city.
Oh, hello, Ched. I was just telling Jaina about Athros, my god.
Oh.
Not Akros, the city.
Which is an easy mistake to make. That's why
I'm not really religious, but I am into cities.
Okay. Anyway, I also like cities, and I like to go visiting them as, I am a merchant. And as someone who travels a lot, I have taken quite an affinity to Athros, the god of passage. He keeps me safe and guides me on my long voyages, just as he ferries the souls of the once living to the underworld. But he wasn't always a god. At least that's what his, that's maybe a bit of a secret amongst us supporters, but some of us theorize he was the first mortal to die on Theros. In order to gain passage, he needed to pay 5 gold coins. Well, nowadays, people will leave coins for the deceased to be able to pay the toll of traveling to the underworld, to pay Athros. But Athros himself is trying to find and reclaim the 5 original obols, the Athenian obols, his 5 original pieces of gold that were going to be used for him to travel. And followers like me, well, we can only hope to get as lucky as finding at least one of them to present to the god who we care so much about. So I started to collect and look after rare coins that may have been on bodies at some points, but others were just really cool old coins that I found, hoping that maybe one day I'd find one of these obols, but I don't think I've had any luck, and I've just kind of enjoyed the collecting of them as they bring me reminders of my travels.
Any reason why they might be slightly more special than normal? Possibly magical?
Well, I suspect the real coins would be magical, and I don't know, maybe the people who were originally going to be using these coins as payment to Athreos put some of their own enchantments on them, or maybe they have special properties. I know that when I hold them, I feel closer to Athreos, almost like he's keeping me safe. Like the very person, the barrier between the living and the dead, like he's on my side. And so without them, I feel less safe. I want them. That's why I've been asking your Triton friend for them back.
If a person who believes in Atheros does not have the coins, what happens if you've taken them?
I don't know. I've not let anyone else have my coins before.
No, I mean...
Oh, you mean finding Atheros' obols?
No, if a person is buried with coins for passage after they die, and you take them, are they able to continue their travel in the afterlife?
Well, I think that's between them and Athreos, depending if they have a different way of payment. I know that people like me, we don't usually take all the coins off of the bodies as they're finding their way there. It's more that we look at which coins are there and might, substitute out ones that we would have more meaning with. But usually we find them after the fact, not when we believe their soul would have already passed on.
So what do you wait, so Ched's also is it just the 3 of us? Is it like Jaina, Ched, and myself? And
I want to make a perception or an insight check to kind of see what this person is.
That's what I was trying to make sure of. So it's just the 3 of us listening, right?
Correct.
So the only
Chad,
people who are listening,
if you want.
Okay.
I wanted to do it too.
Okay.
She's charmed, right? So she's telling the truth?
She's charmed.
So she's telling the truth?
She's telling the truth, as far as she knows.
Yeah. I did 15 plus... Wait, what is this? Inception. No, I was going to say Inception.
Inception.
Insight, it's 18.
Okay.
I got an 18 as well.
So basically, you're going to be seeing, can I glean any other information from the way she's saying this? Not necessarily that she's not telling you everything, but if you can make a connection with it or interpretation. Yes. So she is telling you the truth, but she also seems a bit uncomfortable, like she's being accused of wrongfully taking coins from dead bodies, or that she's realizing maybe the thing I'm doing to try to please Athreos throughout the way I'm actually dishonoring him or doing something he wouldn't approve of. So she's starting to get some doubts herself from the kinds of questions you're asking. Basically, doubting her actions.
So Jane is going to say, well, considering the omen that we got on the river, I would assume that if Atheros was angry with you, it wouldn't have been so calming. So perhaps you are doing exactly what he wishes.
That's reassuring to hear. That's the main thing I like about him. He keeps me calm and lets me know, hey, I'm on the right path, because it's about the journey, not the destination.
are we observing that is Kopaka at least observing that Jaina is having this tender conversation with her?
Yes. So right now, Felix is leading the marching orders. Would be Felix, then the grouping of actually Felix and Seb, then Jaina, Espa, Ched, and then you three.
Well, no, we were in the back at the end of 3 weeks ago. It was Jaina purposefully. Oh yeah, that's right.
But you guys are it might be different.
Right. No, actually, you're right because we were in the middle actually, and then Kopaka and Michiru were in the back.
Yeah, I'd like to when I get an opportunity to take Jaina aside.
Okay, Jaina feels like I'm gonna say Jaina feels like she's gotten enough answers about the coins. So that was really weird because I think that was my face really big. So the only thing she's really curious about now is just gonna be Felix. So she's like, so at the end of the path is the journey. She's just gonna say, so any opinions about Felix?
Sorry, I'm just putting this here. The marching orders visible to me. Well, Felix hasn't been traveling with us for this long. In fact, I thought so. I don't really remember when he started traveling with us. Most of my memories are me and Seb, but... Oh no, wait, Felix was there. I think? I don't know. He's really nice, though, and he's a really good merchant. So, we're happy to have him along with us.
So, you do remember specifically when he joined your group, or you don't?
I remember being happy that he joined. It wasn't too long ago, I would guess. I don't remember exactly when we met, actually. That's kind of funny.
I don't like that.
You've now arrived at the outside of a building, presumably a market stall. And Felix,
I'd like to, while everyone else goes into the building, I'd like to pull Jaina aside and have a conversation with her inside the building.
They're not going to go into the building. So Felix is about to. So if Seb, the other merchant, not you. The centaur, says, so if Talia's instructions are to be believed, we're going to go to the back room of this building, which is where she said we were supposed to meet our contact. So you all, if you want to come with us, you can, but she mentioned that this contact with whom we are going to be selling these supplies is a bit unusual or eccentric.
I think
I think we all are good. You can go. Sorry.
Jaina's gonna say, you know what? I think I might wait outside with Michiru and Kopaka. And again, she said, like, when I talk as Jaina, the tone of voice is exactly how she's saying it because she's really bad at not being subtle.
Okay.
So that's how she said it.
Yeah, and then Alistair will say, I'll leave the merchants to their work. I'll also stay outside with the remainder of the party.
Oh.
So,
Alistair, perhaps you should accompany Felix and Seb inside and see this unusual merchant,
Chris,
and we will join you in a bit.
I would totally love to go with Felix, so like I'm gonna go in there too with Alistar.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna do an over the top wink to Jade, like a.
Felix says splendid.
To who?
He said
Jaina,
Jane, which is what he calls
Jaina
Jaina.
and Ched. Jaina
This
and
is
Ched,
so
such a
funny.
pair.
I thought Christina, we had the whole thing where I was gonna call you Jay
Yes,
throughout
yes,
the entire
no.
thing.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I'm just saying like Jaina and Ched, best subtle pair ever.
Yeah,
Like,
literally.
You guys go.
The two most subtle people we have. It's really funny. Yes, I will join the merchants to meet their trader.
Excellent. Y'all have fun. Wink. Felix says as they go. Before we do the
So ridiculous.
we're gonna do Christina. We're gonna do Jaina, Kopaka, and Michiru outside talking.
Yeah, and all three merchants went in, right? Including my still charmed person.
Yes.
Okay.
So do y'all wanna have
Jaina,
a conversation
how much time is left, do you think? How much time does it take to go from the front to that?
I'm gonna say that about 30 minutes remain.
Okay. So Jaina's gonna try to be. Well, she doesn't have to be too fast. Okay.
So Kopaka, Michiru, and Jaina, you're standing outside the merchant stall.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yes, really quick.
Yeah.
Point of clarification. What's Jaina's dog's name again?
Kamali the wolf.
Yeah.
Molly.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
We forgot to bring her up.
it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I forgot the name too.
And Kamali's here.
Yes, Kamali's just and Kamali. By the way, Kamali is always
Kind of lurking.
well. Kamali, I'm assuming Kamali's always gonna try to be in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Kamali doesn't want to stand out.
Right.
Does that make sense, Kyle?
Yeah.
So Kamali will never be like directly next to the group. Kamali will try to.
Right. And by the way,
Just
right
not
now
be seen.
in the streets, there's like people kind of going about. Like it's not super heavy foot traffic, but there's like people kind of all around. Like and there's some hustle and bustle. They're
Yeah.
not paying attention to you all particularly. There's some odd looks at the centaurs, and basically just because got minotaur, centaurs, and tritons and stuff like all together, which is not necessarily super common, but they just kind of like might stare for a second and they get their move on is what's happening. So basically, there's people around, but they're not paying attention.
Okay, and is there an alley near the
So yes,
away from the bustle?
Right now, we are presuming that this is actually let me pick a different building. Actually, okay, fine. This building is the one that they're going in, but they're not going in from the main entrance. They're going in around the back. There's an alley right here, and kind of an area off to the side over here where no one would have any reason to go. Like over. Here.
Okay.
They might go over here, but they wouldn't like detour over here.
Yeah.
So here.
Okay.
Whatever.
I want to talk away from the people.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't trust people. This is so many people for Jaina. She's like, what? So she's trying. That's also why she's talking the way she is. She's trying to keep her cool, but this is a lot of people for her.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm gonna approach Jaina and just say, hi Jaina. I know that we haven't gotten to know each other that well, and I haven't gotten along with your wolf much either. And I would shoot a glare at Kamali because I definitely know where Kamali is.
Kamali just bares their teeth.
I would always know.
Kamali's in the alley.
I do want to ask, the woman that you just spoke with, do you find her coins to be somewhat troubling, or do you believe her?
The fact that there was an omen from Theros worries me, but everything she has said is exactly what she told us earlier, and because of that, the other thing is she seems very genuine in her worship of Theros. I do not have any qualms with giving her back her coins. I keep in mind, as I said, she will know that I have casted a spell on her, so the best thing I think. So here's what I have discovered about her. So she seems very genuine, telling the truth, loves Theros, is trying to find the coins. She's trying to find the 5 original coins that he paid to go from a human to a god. She hasn't found them. Her coins are possibly magical because she said she searches for specific coins to take from graves, but supposedly they've already passed on. The main issue that I'm having is that she has brought up that Felix joined their trip at some point recently, cannot remember why, but knows that she was very happy to do so. I think she's under a spell. I think Felix is actually the one who we should be worried about.
I think that's a good point.
And Jana's doing all of this. By the way, that was like a super long run-on sentence because she's under stress, too many people, and she knows her spell's going to fade.
Christina, I can't see your face right now. I don't know if is anyone else having issues with her video?
It's frozen,
Okay.
but I can hear her fine. So
I hope the frozen face looks okay.
Well, the face was frozen, and I tried to fix. Oh, wait, you're back. You're back. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I tried to fix it, and then I like resized, and it went completely black. And then you're back now, so you're good.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, so Jana said all of that exactly like that for timing, for stress, and
Right. Understood.
I'd like to respond. I don't have much use for the gods and find it to be all a little strange. But it does bother me that we took this woman's sacred items from her. I think you should definitely let them know, and I'd glance over at Michiru, that we need to give those back before we do anything else. But knowing that Felix is probably suspicious, I definitely think we should keep an eye on him, and that's why I'm having the Akros hoplites accompany them back to Meletus.
Jana's going to look at Michiru, and she's going to say, Michiru, just to make sure there's no one else watching us at this moment, is there?
Oh. Is there a way that I would know that?
Well, because she knows you're stealthy, she's...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
can I do a perception then?
She's assuming that you would be the best one to know.
Yeah. Let me do a perception.
And also, so I have Discord closed right now, but I might be sending people private messages in Zoom, by the way, at this point. Okay. So be checking your Zoom chat, just because I had too many applications opening, so I closed Discord.
Yeah. Oh, or would this be, because are we trying to be stealthy in the conversation? So would this be actually a stealth check to see how?
Well, right now you're looking around to see if there's people. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Well, is anyone watching?
That's what. Okay, so you're gonna try to perceive if there's people watching.
And Jana will also do it too, but she wanted to ask Michiru to do it.
I rolled a 9. I can't see shit.
Okay. She rolled a 20. 15 plus 5. 15 plus 5.
You're taller. So you got the better advantage.
I'm sorry. Michiru doesn't seem to see or hear anyone watching. Jaina, looking around, sees that there are some people going in and out of areas over here, but they really don't pay any attention to the people over here. Almost as though they expect people to be hanging out over there, but they don't give it much mind. So the only people who can see you don't care.
Okay. So then noticing that Jane is going to say, she wanted to make sure no one was watching. She's going to say, Michiru, I understand that you have your reservations. I think what we should do in order to mess with Felix is perhaps give back the coins to Espa, but save a few just in case, but making sure that she doesn't know in order to try to see if there's someone in this very large place that may be able to tell us more about the coins, but I would like us to try to befriend Felix a little more. I still can make him friendly to me if you would prefer for me to do that, but what do you think, Michiru? You're the one who has all the power. You have the coins.
Well, a couple of things that from your story. First of all, I don't understand why Kopaka is so trusting of this lady who apparently seems to grave rob. I'm not okay with that. I don't know if you're all okay with that, but she seems to be grave robbing people that worship her own god. So that's suspect, first of all. And second of all, I agree that we should keep an eye on Felix. I have reservations about returning the coins because I have an inkling that these coins are exactly the reason that Felix joined the party. There is something with these coins that he wants, and if we give them to her, to Espa, we're just basically handing them to him, especially in such a big place where he can easily disappear. I know a thing or two about that, so I guarantee this is a perfect place to do a job and then disappear into the crowd.
Has he mentioned the coins?
He didn't, but it's the only thing out of their entire caravan that really stands out.
That's not true. They were carrying
Other
a
than the
bunch of
poison.
Well, yes. But
Now-
has he shown
And
any interest
there's
in
a
any of these?
centaur with them. No offense.
Oh, to Jaina.
Say that again.
There's a centaur with them. No offense.
The first part cut off, so I was like, I don't know. Oh, she just looks at him and shrugs. She honestly doesn't.
Do you know him?
No, all centaurs do not know each other.
I was gonna say that's specious.
Most Leonin know each other. I didn't think it was that strange.
Jaina, you would also be able to tell that he's of the Laguna band, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of no, he's definitely does not run. We do not run in the same circles. He's with his own group.
What kind of group is that? What do you have any knowledge that may shed light on their strange party? It can't be much stranger than ours.
I know that his group is probably full of pansies that can't fight very well, and that they love money and going into cities and probably doing other things that I don't care about. But he's a merchant.
I'm sorry, that was
Wow.
amazing.
You're very opinionated. So, I mean, frankly, I don't give a damn about these coins. I felt I did not trust her. Goddamn, remember her name?
Espa.
Espa. I don't trust Espa. I don't understand why she had magical coins, but these are worthless to me. So if you want to give them back, I can just give them to you, and then you can get them back. And should this be the reason for your death, I will put a coin on your eyes when you die.
Should we keep a few? I don't think, unless she counts, I don't think she'll notice if you keep a couple.
Are you able to perceive any particular one that is more magical than the others, or a few that are more magical than the others? You're the one with magic perception, right?
If you give me 10 minutes, I can figure out which ones possibly are more special than the others.
If Felix is the one that we're concerned about, then why don't we just watch Felix?
Cut to.
I will say
We're cutting to the inside now.
Yes. Transition.
Transition to Felix. So Alistair, Ched, and the three merchants, Espa, Felix, and Steve, have just come to the back of a building, knocked on the door. Felix rapping at it with the back of his hand, smiling.
God, I hate him.
This has ruined Troye Sivan's music for me, by the way. On an outside note, I just want to say that. Go ahead.
Because he's like this in real life.
It doesn't take much to ruin that.
Like this. This is the kind of person he is. Annoying, happy, positive, smiling all the time. It's like...
Gross.
Anyway, sorry.
He's actually really nice, but go ahead.
What? Why? I'm gonna...
Yeah. We didn't realize that, some people here may or may not have actually met him, so...
Okay.
Anyway, Felix knocks at the door. By the way, I've blown up this image here because now I just need it because we're talking about Felix.
I'll get back into character now. Go for it.
Sorry, I'm putting back into, but I'm laughing. Again, people, by the way, if you make sure you're checking your private messages on Zoom today, because I don't normally do it through Discord, but I'm not right now.
If there was a private message, how would you know?
Like the chat, your Zoom chat.
Oh, okay.
Basically, I private messaged at least one of you, and only that person would probably see that.
I've not done it.
It wasn't me.
Okay. I don't want to say who because maybe it'd be spoilers for who it is. And maybe someone here is really good at lying about not receiving messages. Anyway.
No.
Let's move on.
The knock at the door. Oh, are you here? Come, who is this? Come in. It's Felix. Talia sent us. Felix, huh? Okay. Someone opens the back door, and you're greeted by a pretty portly, older gentleman with a gray beard. Friends of Talia's. How can you verify that? Steve pipes in. She told us to mention something about a bet in Yegos. Oh, well, come in. And Alistair, Ched, Seb, and Espa and Felix all are rushed into what seems to be the back room of what might be an apothecary. There's lots of different ingredients kind of strewn about, and some vats and vials of stuff boiling and bubbling. Yes. I'm Strat. How can I help you? Well, Strat, we were sent with some goods to sell to you that we thought you would be interested in. And as a friend of Talia, she recommended these to you. After all, we're in some need of coin. Talia needs to purchase some medicinal supplies. Oh, that sounds like Talia. And who are these fine folk?
My name's Ted.
My name is Alistair. We are associates of Talia.
Oh. Huh. Those are some new friends of hers. Well.
Yeah, we've been getting into some trouble.
Well, I don't want any trouble here. What kind of
Me
trouble?
neither.
We were in attendance with Talia at a wedding where all of the participants, save us, were poisoned.
Oh. Good golly. Well, what kind of poison?
We were actually hoping that Talia would have the answer, but she seems unable to determine what it is as well.
Well, in that case, I'll look at what you've brought me. The merchants hand him kind of the bags and vials that they've been hand carrying. Oh, good, all right. He turns. So, which one of you should I be handing this payment to?
You should totally hand it to me, man.
See,
Can I do a persuasion check while I say that?
You can.
This is so absurd. I love it.
Where did I put my tablet?
I got 17.
Oh, here it is. Sorry, I was trying to find where I put my notes for the other thing. All right. Well, I guess that's okay. Actually, Seb interrupts. I'll be taking those. He's just part of our entourage, our escort, if you will. Oh, an escort? Looks about right. So
We've been called worse.
Pardon?
We've been called worse.
Seb takes a bag of coins and kind of rummages through. This seems appropriate. Now, to make this transaction a little bit even sweeter, we were told that you may have some. You know what? Here. And Seb hands Strat a piece of paper that seems to have like a shopping list on it. Okay, I'll grab these for you. You all wait here or feel free to look around the front of the shop. Splendid. We will. Felix starts to wander towards the front of the shop, like back out of the back room and looking towards the front and looking at the goods. And
while Felix is walking towards the front of the shop, can I try to whisper to this man to try to get information? Like, what do you know about Felix?
Whisper to whom?
Okay, who are the two? There's two men in the shop, correct?
So in the shop, we have... I guess I'll have to get rid of Troy.
Sorry, sometimes it's hard to get a visual.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I just felt like I felt bad because we had to get rid of Troy's face. We have all three merchants. Espa, the woman who was speaking to Jaina previously.
Yeah.
Felix, Sieve the centaur, who took the bag from you, and is now Sieve and Espa are kind of hovering around Strat, who seems to be some sort of apothecary or someone involved in making and buying potions and mixtures.
But as far as like the actual like this shop per se, there was the older man, and wasn't there another person that was there? The man with the beard.
Strat is the man with the beard, and he's big and round.
Okay, and there was no other person that was
person who you all could see from the back in the back of the shop. He's the one who greeted you at the door.
Can I whisper something to Ched?
Yes.
I'll say, Ched, see what you can find out from these two. I'm going to see what I can find out from the tiny, annoying human.
Okay.
I'm going to walk to the front of the shop.
So Strat is kind of is looking around at the list and at his supplies, kind of rummaging around trying to get the things that the merchants are asking for. The merchants Espa and Sieve are kind of just hovering behind him. So, and I'll do, okay, Ched. So Ched, you approach from the back, or you approach the people that are hovering around Strat.
Oops. Accidentally pressed a roll. Yes. Sorry. Yeah, so hey bros. So what do you know about this Felix man?
Sieve just kind of turns to you. Felix? He's been traveling with all of us. Why are you asking about him?
Well, he seems pretty happy, and I've just never seen someone so happy to do this job.
I mean, he's a good merchant, so he probably makes a fair amount of coin. People with coin are happy. Sieve kind of lets out a sigh, or like seems almost annoyed when he says that.
Can I do an insight check?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a 9.
You realize that he is annoyed when you ask that question, but you're not sure if he's annoyed at you or annoyed at talking about finances.
Okay. Fuck.
Take a minute. Let's switch to me and Felix real quick. What you think?
Yeah.
Chris?
So you're in the front of the shop, and you realize it is an apothecary, but it looks pretty different from the one in Melitus. Now, Alistair used to live in Akros, but he doesn't remember this particular shop. Unlike the one in Melitus, which had things very nicely labeled and had prices nearby, this one seems a bit cruder, almost like it's more of a warehouse that people would come to for raw materials or maybe even supplies that wouldn't be mass market per se. Felix is looking around, picking up and examining different bags and vials. Oh, hello, Alistair. Are you interested in any of these?
I'm afraid I don't know much about herbs or potions or remedies, human.
Oh, that's
I do
a
have
shame.
some questions for you, though.
Oh? Do ask.
Forgive my ignorance, but Talia is not someone I've known very long. Is she someone that's trustworthy?
Well, I haven't known her that long either. Was part of our, merchant group here, who she hired, and I met her mostly when we took this job. But she seemed very focused and earnest on trying to minimize the number of people who are dying from this poison.
I see. And how long have you been doing these kinds of trade routes between Melitus and Akros?
Well, I'm a merchant who gets around. I've gone between, multiple times a year, so for the past few years. So I'm pretty familiar with the land and the sky and all of that stuff. But tell me more about you, Alistair.
I'm afraid
you seem to have been, you've made this journey more than once. Maybe from the other direction, though.
I've made a number of journeys in my time, human. But I don't really know how pertinent that is to today's mission.
Well, neither do your question. I didn't feel like your questions about me were pertinent to today's mission. I thought we were just making small talk.
Fair enough, human. What would you like to know more about?
Well, who is this minotaur that stands before me?
A soldier, or at least a former soldier.
Oh.
Now just a simple servant of the light.
Oh, the light. Looks you up and down. Heliod, I presume.
You have a good eye, human. Heliod's sun falls upon all of us, the just and the unjust equally.
Well, almost all of us. Not those of us in the shadows. Or I shouldn't say those of us, but, you know, even when we walked around the building here, you know, there's some places the sun doesn't touch.
Exactly. And that's why Heliod chooses his thralls, to shine light in the darkness.
Amen to that. He holds up one of the vials.
Okay, we should switch back to Chris and the others.
Okay, Ched and the
I'm gonna start with a perception, or sorry, a persuasion check.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying. Oh, I got a 10. So I got a 10 plus 5, so 15.
Who are you trying to persuade to do what?
I'm going to try to persuade Seb to tell me a little bit more about Talia, to try to see then, because he's not talking about Felix. So I want to see, like, okay, so what's kind of like the deal with Talia, and like, was she the witch that got this like ugly flower on my horn? Because like, I really don't like it.
All right, so you don't have to make a persuasion check. He'll answer your question. I'll let you know when you have to make checks and stuff like that.
Okay.
Well, she did not mention you or the flower, so I don't know anything about that. But Talia seems fine. I've, done runs for her in the past, and she pays on time. She seems reliable. She seems to truly care about her studies and helping people when that's part of her studies. But yeah, not much to say.
Wow, bro, that's all really awesome. Have you guys even dealt with something like so crazy like mass poisoning before? I mean, this is wild, man.
Well, I'm usually not nearly as connected to the events that I'm doing the trading for, let alone having to see what's going on. But if you don't mind me getting personal for a moment, my good friend was at that wedding and is currently face down on the floor in Melitus, and I really want us to make sure that he survives.
Can I do a perception check to make sure if he's lying or not?
Insight?
Do I do insight?
Yeah.
Okay. 9.
You believe him that he genuinely cares about this more than just the money, that he wants to make sure the guests are okay because he cares about at least one of them.
Okay. I have nothing else to ask.
Okay. Strat keeps moving around looking for supplies. Oh, sorry about that. He tries to sneak past Seb, who kind of moves backwards into Ched. Ched probably takes a step back towards Espa and kind of like some shimmying around. But then it's kind of hard since there is a centaur, a human, a large human, and a satyr in that tiny space, and Strat trips and pushes into all the people. So, Ched, if you want to not fall over, make a strength saving throw.
Six.
Ched falls on his plump satyr bottom and knocks into one of the shelves, where a vial on the top shelf swirls around, and then falls, and the glass shatters on the floor, making quite a sound, and like both in the glass shattering and what sounds like a miniature boom. Not very loud, but what sounds like a mini explosion as what looks like red smoke dissipates from above where the vial cracked. and then everyone starts to cough. Oh dear. So from the front of the shop, you all hear a ruckus. Oh dear. Did you hear that, Alistair?
I did. Do you think we
what-
should check on them?
Yes, indeed. Let's go.
Lead the way.
Well, you're kind of blocking my way, but okay, if you want to, let me around. Or do you want to just go? I'm worried about our friends. Let's get in there, please.
Of course. Let's go.
Okay. So you come in and you start to kind of cough and your eyes kind of blur a little bit. Can you both make a Constitution saving throw?
Constitution saving throw?
Yes.
Did you say both of us or just?
Yes, both of you. Because you're both inhaling the fumes of whatever this thing is.
I got a 9.
A 5.
Ched, your vision is very blurry, and you're having trouble breathing. And Alistair, your eyes start to water, but you look around and you're able to see what looks like, okay, there's a broken vial on the floor, and the merchant's all coughing a bit as you approach the scene.
What is the merchant's name again?
Strat.
Strat.
Or the apothecary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strat, is everything all right? Seems to be something spilled.
Oh, yes. Here, let me... I think something over here should be able to neutralize that. If you will pardon me, here, should we just switch places for a second? There we go. Grab some herbs. And he's grabbing some herbs and he like kind of rubs it in the area where the spill was. And the smell starts to dissipate. So currently in the room, you've got the 2 party members, Strat, Seb, and Espa. Felix is not standing in the room.
Felix is not standing in the room anymore?
Correct.
He's disappeared.
Well, he was kind of in the doorway when you both came to approach. And somewhere with shuffling around with Strat neutralizing the substance, Felix has seemed to escape your gaze and is no longer in the room.
Chad, Felix has disappeared. I'm going to go outside and look for him.
How much time has passed for all of that? Out of
So in
curiosity?
the shop, about 12 minutes have gone by, and the merchants have opened the door in the back because they kind of want to air it out. So you can now see the door is swung open, and a little bit of smoky stuff kind of comes out. And so the 3 of you who are in the back can see.
Well, what I was going to ask was
you can see or hear the door open, but you can't like see right in there.
right. Well, what I was going to ask was if 10 minutes have passed,
Mhm.
does that mean that my detect magic ritual hasn't? Because I was going to look for if any of the coins were different than any of the other coins.
You can do that. So we'll cut to that before this happens.
Yeah.
So you're detecting magic on them.
On all the coins, is any of them more interesting than any of the others? If not, I'm just going to put them all back in the bag, but just keep 2 and hand them to Michiru.
They all seem to have the same very faint stench of death and maybe some magic related to death.
Okay, so then I'm going to give 2 coins to Michiru and tell him hide these well, put all of them back in the bag, and then once the bag is fully wrapped, I'm assuming then the 12 minutes will have passed because the ritual takes time.
Okay.
And then now the door can have been opened. And
Okay.
detect magic lasts for I think it's 10 minutes.
Okay.
So, and it's 10 up to 10 minutes concentration from 30 feet from myself.
Okay.
So I don't know how close we are to the door.
About 30 feet.
Okay. So yeah, so just letting you know, I currently have a 10-minute aura of detecting
You could
magic.
detect some magic coming from like this smoke that was kind of flittering out from the top of the doorway that when it was opened. It just seems like some sort of powerful alchemical substance it kind of dissipated and floated up into the open air pretty quickly before you could tell like exactly what it was, but you could tell it was some sort of like magical smoke.
Okay, and no one has come out of that door.
Out
while
of that
we've been
door
there.
comes Espa, who's coughing a little bit still. Oh, sorry. Just need to get some fresh air in here as we get the last of these supplies. And she goes back into the building pretty quickly. But we're going to go back to inside of the building.
Yeah.
So Ched and Alistair, or Alistair was just talking to Ched about, Felix.
Felix.
Wait, I'm confused.
What's his what?
Nothing. Sorry, Ched, go on.
I can't see a thing, right?
Correct. You still can't see. Your eyes are like going to be slowly recovering over the next few minutes.
Bruh? And I'm talking to Alistair, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Alistair, I can't see a freaking thing. I don't know what's going on. What's happened?
It seems Felix has disappeared in the commotion. Do you think he's up to something?
Absolutely, bruh.
I'll see if I can find him. Will you be okay here with the merchants?
I'm gonna sit down and just talk about my feelings.
Excellent work, Chad.
Steve says, "Oh goodness, okay. Well, Strat, can you please get us the rest of our supplies before we're subjected to too much of this?" He's like, "Oh yes, I got the last of them right here. Here you go. Sorry about that accident. Ched, was it? We have a strict you break it, you buy it policy around here, so I'll be dealing with you in a moment. But Steve, I believe you and your merchant friends are all taken care of. Wish Talia my best." Will do. And Steve and Espa are now outside in the alley near where the rest of the people are. And I'm going to have us go to break.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Good time.
Intermission time.
I knew. I was like, no, poopy thing,
We'll be
Felix.
back.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry about that. I was sending a secret message. So we left off somewhere. We can hear. Okay, good. We left off somewhere. Where did we leave off, friends?
We left off with people. Three.
Both of us are in an alleyway.
Yeah, three of us are in an alleyway. Ched's gonna have to buy something that's broken.
The two merchants were just the two non-Felix merchants were just handed a box of goods that there are medical supplies that they're supposed to bring back to Melitus, and they're just walking out of the back door here to encounter you all. Some pretty much still coughing because there's some sort of chemical spill in there. Alistair, are you going out that same door, or are you going out trying to go out back through the front of the building?
I'm gonna try and go out the front of the building, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I can't determine which way Felix went.
Would you like to make a maybe survival check for tracking skills?
Oh, brilliant! I have good survival. Let's see.
Or sorry,
Going
actually
out
do an
the front.
investigation check.
Damn it! I got a good survival roll, Kyle.
Sorry.
Investigation, you want?
Yes, please.
Damn it! I'm not good at that one. What did I get? 12.
You cannot discern what way Felix went out.
Then I guess I will go out. Which door was more recently opened?
So you all went in through the back door.
Right.
No one came in or out of the front door that you noticed while you were in the building.
Okay. So I'll go out the back door then. The door that I came in.
Okay.
So the alley that the three of us were in, it was an alley towards the back of the building, not the front, right?
It's on the right, on the left-hand
no
side.
one was in the. Yeah, you all are kind of in proximity now. Like the people are walking out of the building, and they are walking kind of towards where you all are congregating. So with Alistair, the only one who is not present of your group. So wait, Espa and Sebe are walking towards you. Alistair is walking towards you three. Ched is still inside. and he's getting a talking to, but we'll get to that in a moment.
Okay. Alistair, how did it go inside with the merchant?
About to be expected. We do have another concern, though.
What's that?
I don't trust Felix. There's something wrong with him.
We came to that conclusion out here as well.
So where is he?
You don't trust our companion? Well, wait. Where did he go? I don't know. I haven't seen him lately.
There was a convenient.
Just went inside of you.
There was a conveniently placed spill inside the apothecary. A bunch of smoke was generated. No one could breathe or see. When the smoke cleared, Felix vanished.
Alistair, are you okay?
Of course.
Okay.
Why would you ask?
No particular reason.
Strange. Do you still have the bag of coins?
I do, yes.
I think we should give them back to Espa.
I would
Okay.
appreciate that, because we would like to get going back to Melitus now.
Wait,
now that
did
we have the
you
goods.
did you pass it to Jaina when we were talking, or were you
Yes,
still holding
yes.
it?
No, you gave me the 2 back, and then I
Yeah.
think you kept it. Yes.
Yes.
So you, sorry, that was my bad. You kept it, yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, so Jaina, because at this point,
Mhm.
it's probably nearing the end of her charm spell, so she's gonna go. There you go.
Thank you.
Nice, nice and
wait,
safe and
before
sound.
we-
Back for you.
Before we give them back,
that hard?
before we give them back, I have one final question for Espa.
Okay, wait. Jonathan, what were you saying? I didn't hear you.
I was just saying, was that hard? But we haven't given him back yet, so.
Okay.
Alistair was about to say something.
Espa, do you remember when you first met Felix?
That's so funny. I was just telling this story to Jaina, and I don't particularly remember. Sebe, do you remember? I don't really remember, but I would like to get going soon.
That's enough. They can have the coins now. I've heard what I need to hear.
So then Jaina goes, "Here you go. Back with its lovely owner. Thank you so much for the stories."
Well, thank you all for your assistance with this, but I know that you would also like for us to hurry on back to Melitus, so that we can stabilize the guests. With
Yes,
or without
please.
Felix.
Are any of your belongings missing? Did he take anything from the shop?
No, he wouldn't.
Nothing from what we're supposed to be retrieving.
Espa,
You have all the supplies between the two of you?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Misha was going to say something to Espa?
Espa, can you... Who is missing in your party?
Who was missing, Sebe? Felix. Oh, yes, Felix. We don't know where he went off to, though.
Okay.
What, if I may ask, have you made sure you have all your supplies?
I think we do. We didn't come in with very much. Now I have my coins back, and we have all the things that were on our shopping list. So I think it's best we get back as soon as possible.
Have you checked that everything on your list, that you have everything on your list?
Yes. We checked our list twice. Made sure
Yes,
that
but
there was no
what about-
naughtiness.
Yes, but did you
Mouse
get
is
your
good.
items?
What'd you say?
I'm not sure if
Kapaka?
I understand what you're
Now
asking.
that
Jane.
Felix is not part of your party, do you have all your items? There were 3 of you.
Mm-hmm.
You're missing 1.
Yes.
That person have any items that you needed?
No, I don't believe so. Steve, do you think he had... No, I had the list. I had the goods and the coin.
You should let the merchants go.
We should.
Yes, please.
I'm
we
just
will
trying.
go ahead.
Jaina was just Jaina was just trying to figure. Basically, just asking like the bag that they got, which she doesn't know anything that went inside. She just knows they got stuff.
Mhm.
Like, have they actually looked in the bag that they got, and does it
Yes.
have everything that was in the bag?
Yes. Steve is confirming that everything that was on their shopping list is in the supplies that they're carrying back.
Okay.
As far as he knows. He may not...
Yeah.
Jaina, are you playing any... Jaina, are you playing any tricks on me? You know I'm not fond of your magic.
What?
Well, bye. Thank you. And they
No.
sort of go back towards the front gate.
You don't go anywhere.
Oh,
Yeah, I need you to
no.
stay. Oh, did they run away?
Nope, they're here.
Okay.
I ran away.
Jaina, can you do me a favor? Who is the missing person in our party?
In our party? Well,
In our general group.
Ched.
No, not from our. Who is disappeared?
Felix.
Oh hell no. Can I do a religion check?
Yes.
I'm so confused.
Can you message me what you are checking?
Yes. Oh god, it's frozen.
SMH. I wish it was frozen too. Much better.
Okay.
Michiru, perhaps you'd like to explain more.
By the way,
process.
my 30. I still have the 30 feet of detect magic. By the way.
Yeah. I'm okay. Ignore me. I think the air in this city is making me a little dizzy.
You felt like the magic detection detects a little bit of a magic aura around Michiru, but you're not sure if that was just Michiru doing a check of like trying to. If Michiru is doing magic to check if there was magic.
Jaina looks around. Jaina's looking around for Felix.
Okay.
I think our priority should be to find Felix.
Let's dismiss the merchants so they can get back to Helitus.
Okay, thank you. Steve just takes that as like, we're going. He
Go find the guards. They can give you an escort.
They're heading back towards the gates they came in through, because that's where they were expecting to rendezvous with.
Can Jaina do the look around though? Looking for Felix?
Yeah, you can do a perception check.
Okay, perception check. Which one? I'm gonna do this one.
And then
yay! I did the pretty die. It gave me. Oh wait, perception.
Yep.
22. I got 17.
You look around and up and around again. You see no sign of Felix, but you get the sense that you're being watched from the rooftop of the apothecary.
What do I see on the rooftop?
Well, you see what looks to be like a ponytail, not like a centaur ponytail, but like a person's ponytail, turning and like kind of zipping off in a blur from the rooftop.
Did Felix have a ponytail?
It's Troy Sivan.
Do not show us the picture of Felix.
I don't. I'm going to tell you now. I don't know who Troy Sivan is, so I don't know the answer to this question.
You don't know who Troy Sivan is. You just have to know who Felix is, and Felix does not have a ponytail.
Okay. I'm gonna.
We're gonna cut back to inside the shop.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say Hunter's Mark.
So little one. Well, I can't really call you little. You're about my size. This is Strat talking to Ched. That was a pretty expensive vial you broke there. How much coin do you have on you? Because that's worth about 3 gold pieces.
Ched starts crying loudly.
Okay.
I want to make a deception check.
Well, what are you trying to do?
I want him to feel sorry for me.
Make a performance check.
I can't.
14.
Oh, don't cry, little goat man. I just don't. It's just I need to be compensated somehow for this. As you cry, Ched, you start to be able to see better. Like your eyes are clearing out the pollution from the magical smoke.
Bro, I went to a wedding of my dear friends, George and someone, and I have this flower that is very poisonous that's growing on my horn. I don't know how much I have left to live. I only have 2 gold, and I'm trying to find the solution so that I can live. And my friends are out there. Maybe you can talk to them to see what they can do.
They're there. He goes to try to pat your shoulder. You're saying that this flower is not a decoration of your own volition?
No, it's a poison.
A poison? When did this flower emerge?
We were at a wedding, and bruh, everyone at the wedding were like poisoned and collapsed, this
very same wedding that was mentioned earlier, huh?
Yeah.
Well, would you mind if I take a look at your flower?
Okay, bro, but it's really sensitive, so I apologize if I squeal while you touch it.
Sorry. He
Normalized squealing.
he leans over and starts rustling through the fur and hair on the top of your head and is looking at the flower and the stem that goes into your head. He's like, this might... I'm just going to give it a teeny tug. Okay. Fascinating. And... Oh. Was it always... Was the black part of the stem always this dark and always this height?
There's a black part of the stem, bro?
I'll take that as a... You did not know. Interesting. This is a fascinating flower. Tell me specifically, if you can recall, when it popped up.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I had massive diarrhea during this wedding. It was really bad. So, I don't really remember much besides drinking, a lady getting upset and saying that I didn't belong at this wedding, and then like all the guests were poisoned, and then something happened and it was really magical, and then there was a flower, and it's like there was a big boom, and then it was on my horn, and it's just
hold up, son. So, you say something magical happened. Can you tell me what?
Don't really remember much, bro. It happened a long time ago, but I do know that all the wedding guests. 4 days ago? Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I know you've been.
You don't understand how much.
Did Talia see this flower?
You don't understand how much Jaeger bombs I had at this wedding. I don't know what the name of
Talia's
it
Yagos. Oh, that's some.
Yeah, you don't know how many Yagos I've had at this wedding, but something magical happened. It started attaching to my horns. My friends would probably be able to tell you more than I can, bro.
Well, I'm very interested in this flower of yours. I'll forgive your debt if I can get some more information about it.
You can take as much information as you can, bro.
Okay. Well, where are your friends now?
I'm hoping they're outside and they haven't abandoned me.
Oh, silly. All right. Well, let's walk outside and see them. So
okay.
You're about to walk outside and see them. I know Jaina wanted to do something right after her perception check.
Yeah, because if she saw someone on the roof, Hunter's Mark. Wait, yeah, because it's 90 feet.
So tell me about Hunter's Mark.
So Hunter's Mark is you choose a creature you can see within range and mystically mark it as your quarry. Until the spell ends, you deal it's damage. Let's see. Where's the thing? There's a specific reason why I was thinking. I thought it was whenever you hit, and you have advantage on any wisdom or with any perception or survival check you make to find it. So for 1 hour, I have advantage on perception and survival checks to find it. That was why I was casting it. Was not like the attack part.
Sure.
And it's concentration up to an hour, 90 feet.
Gotcha. So you have to be thinking about it to.
Yes, I must concentrate.
Okay, sure. Okay.
So because of that, I lose the detect magic. However couple minutes that were left, that's gone.
Okay. So you placed guidance on the ponytail on the roof.
Yes.
I'm sorry. The Hunter's Mark on the ponytail on the roof.
Yeah, whatever was the most suspicious looking person, which you seem to make me think was the person on the roof. Doing Hunter's.
That seems to be the person you're suspicious of.
Yes.
Because all the people around were your party mates.
Yeah. So I'm going to do Hunter's Mark on that person.
Okay.
And I'm going to. I want to chase this person.
Can we benefit by her Hunter's Mark at all? Or is it only Jaina?
It's just me. I'm going to. Okay, because
right.
Chaos. Neutral chaos. I'm going to take put Michiru on my back, and I'm chasing after that person, and I'm
Oh
going
my
to keep
God.
searching for this person.
All right, I need you to make a
my God.
a strength roll, and
Chaos
Michiru,
neutral. Let's go.
if you don't want to be picked up, I need you to contest it with a strength saving throw.
Michiru?
E.
I'm super weak.
Okay. What's your
Oh,
strength
saving.
roll?
I rolled a 4.
All right, Michiru, strength saving throw more than 4 or
14.
Okay.
Okay, then you're not going. I'm
you
leaving
do not
without
pick
you.
up Michiru.
Then I leave without you. I say, person on the roof, and I leave.
All right,
Right,
so
I'd like to run
Jaina
out.
gallops off.
I'd like to run after her as well.
Okay. As you both are running off, Ched and Strat come out of the doorway and see Jaina galloping off, and then Kopaka starting to sprint after Jaina.
And I by the way, I yelled person on the roof.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I feel like I would chase as well.
Okay.
Even though, like,
Not to chase.
Say again? What did you say, Cannon?
You said to chase or not to chase?
I feel like I would chase. Can I jump on? So since she tries to pick me up, and I just say, not today, Erebos. Can I see if I can jump on onto the roof myself?
Let's see. So you're gonna be climbing. So I need you to make an athletics check, Michiru.
Okay.
I'd like to do that as well.
Okay.
13.
You said 13?
I rolled a 24 athletics check.
All
nice.
right. So Kopaka is able to immediately scale up to the top of the roof. Michiru is slowly putting her fishy hands on the roof and climbing up the side of the wall to get up onto the roof.
Okay. Oh God, it's been a minute since I've had to climb.
As
Do I
you
see the person now that I've made it to the top of the roof?
say it again,
Do I see the person now that I've made it to the top of the roofs?
make a perception check.
16.
You see a figure hopping off of you're on the top of this roof. You see a figure hopping down off of this roof onto the ground near this area.
All right, I'd like to follow them.
Okay. Ched and so Ched is emerging through the doorway. Alistair just saw these people jump on the roof. Jaina sprint off. What are you doing? What are y'all doing?
I just scream, bro, really loud.
Right, because you're walking outside and seeing people just start running, so you don't know what's happening. Alistair?
I'm going to stand here and watch all this madness unfold. I'm going to hang out with Chad. Also, I'm too large and too slow to chase anything, so let me know if you catch me.
I'm too bad at swinging your sword.
Who are those people that just took off just now? And why are they starting to climb on my roof?
From what I've deduced, there appears to be someone on your roof.
Well, yes, I can see that there are two people on my roof.
Prior to that.
Ah. Who are these people, though?
He just accepts it.
Who are these people? Why is there a Triton on my roof?
Don't worry, he's a professional. We'll make sure that everything's taken care of. By the way, did you need to be reimbursed for any of the damaged goods that occurred earlier?
Oh, gosh. This day keeps getting weirder and weirder. Yes, but I'm really curious about Ched's flower situation, and his memory seems to be a bit fuzzy, this fuzzy one right here. Would you be able to tell me a bit about the magic that happened that day at the wedding?
Unfortunately, we don't know much about it. We do know that the poison that was put into the cake poisoned all the attendees who had it. And then there was some kind of map that was created out of the leaves that eventually died. It wasn't anything that I recognized.
Leaves.
But Talia was able to observe the formation of the leaves on the ground and give us direction on where we should go. We've been relying on her guidance ever since.
It must have been from Farika.
That seems likely.
Interesting. And then your flower here. Oh, interesting. Well, how much do you all know about Farika, the god of affliction?
I only worship one god. The others don't concern me.
Well, I'll let you know that you should probably know a little bit more about the others. After all, Farika's helpful for people like me, who work in alchemy, experimentation of both health and illness. And there's a tale that she sealed the secrets to many of the world's great poisons or sicknesses on the bones of dragons or other such creatures. And the information of the curing them can only be found on the bones of creatures as fierce as that. I presume that if you received an omen from her, that's what you're heading towards.
Bones? Living or dead, out of curiosity?
Well, presumably, if the cure has not been found, then the bones are still inside a living being.
Great. This couldn't get any worse.
Where were you headed towards?
North of the city.
Oh, interesting. Well,
Further into the mountain pass.
good luck with that. Up in the mountains, where the Minotaurs are? And
Yes.
near the... Well, there's some unsavory areas up there. But, the flower here might be connected to that. Interesting. Chad, does the stem of your flower hurt at all?
It like gives like an itching sensation.
Oh no. It seems that there's also poison building up in the stem of his flower with each passing day. You best hurry and get whatever your quest is from Frika finished. And find
Are
this
you
cure.
trying to say I might die ugly?
Well, the appearance of the flower may change. I don't know how it will affect the rest of your phenotypical appearance, but I'm fascinated if you want to stay here and let me study you throughout the process.
You're welcome to come with us, but we must go.
Well, I can try to help you, Ched, in the lab here if you wanted to stay.
For a little bit, all my friends have their breakdowns since they seem to be jumping and doing nonsense.
Running off and such. Well, I'll forgive the debt for the vial you broke, but I would appreciate if you came back soon for me to check in on your flower again. Maybe
You know what?
for me to study it.
Alistar,
Yes.
you make our friends join. I don't know what they're doing. And dear scientist, I'm gonna go into your laboratory and you can check my flower.
I'll follow up with the rest of the party, Ched. Be well.
Fascinating.
Thanks, bro.
I'm excited to look at the ins and outs of you and your flower. So,
I don't like how he said that.
Ched and Strat retreat into the back room as apothecary.
The back.
So,
back.
cutting back to the chase. We've got Mishiru and Kopaka on the roof over here. They saw the figure jump down in this area.
Jaina has horsey legs.
Has horsey legs and is
So
running.
So 40 feet. I can run 40
Yeah.
feet.
You also, Jaina, since you're presumably looking and with the advantage of your hunter's mark,
Yes.
also see that the figure has jumped down. You can't see the figure very clearly, but has jumped down over to this area.
Okay.
And you're currently about like over here.
And I'm 6'3".
And you're 6'3". Well, no, actually, how many hands high? How many hands high are you? Because that's how you measure horses.
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know either. I was just trying to make a bad joke about horses. Okay. So y'all are chasing, presumably all in pursuit, this general direction.
If we see question.
Mhm.
So the figure
Jumps
Jumps
down from
down.
this roof down here to the ground where they're cut
From-
off from your vision.
what? Okay, but as they jumped, could we tell like figure type?
Humanoid, you could see the shadow of hair going up as the person jumped. So with a ponytail.
Can I make it over to an area where I have visibility so I could fire a bow at them?
You could try to climb higher and see if
mean-
you can see them.
Don't throw your bow. Just shoot an arrow.
That's what I'm. But
I thought you said shoot an arrow, but I could be wrong.
I could have been wrong.
Okay.
I don't have visibility at the moment.
Correct. But right now you're still over here if you wanted to try to jump between roofs and try to get closer.
Yeah, I think jumping between roofs would be better.
Okay. So you presumably jump over to here and look around and make a perception check to see if you can identify someone who would fit the figure's description.
18.
All right. You look through the crowd and you see some people, there's just a few people kind of gathered in the area, all in civilian clothing. There are two people with ponytails. One is arm in arm with someone else, seeming to be walking towards you, laughing, as though this person with the ponytail and the woman she is with are, coupley, walking back towards home or something. There's another figure with a ponytail who is on a bench, appearing like he is sleeping.
Well, I've played enough Assassin's Creed to know that you should hide from people on benches.
Uh-huh.
So I think I'm gonna jump over and try to see if that person who's sleeping is faking it, Felix.
Okay. So
I don't see anyone else?
No. So
It's
you hop down.
only-
No other people with ponytails.
Okay.
There's like a few other people around, but they're kind of.
But no one I think would be Felix.
That you think would be Felix, nor has a ponytail.
Okay.
So you approach this person on the bench, and they're snoring, and like down like this.
But it's not Felix?
It is not Felix.
Okay.
Michiru, you're on this roof. Did you also go and pursue this way?
You muted.
Yes, I chased.
Okay.
Also, technically, all Jaina said was person on the roof. So, were they able to see
you're
the
right.
person?
They didn't know about the ponytail or
But
not.
did he still see the back of the person?
Oh, you're right. Yes, actually, when he saw the back of the person jump down and saw what looked like a ponytail flopping in the air as they jumped down.
But I was just wondering, did he get to see any other details or just ponytail?
No details other than ponytail. It looked like a shadowy figure that looked vaguely humanoid.
Yeah.
Like they were moving too quickly to be identifiable. It was like blurring. Sorry, I'm reaching for my pen cap because I was playing with my pen. Michiru. So you jump over the next rooftop. You saw Kopaka jump down. You can see Jaina running around this way.
Okay.
What do you do?
I like to do a perception check from up here.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the same for me. I mean, basically, I'm stealthy. I'm a rogue. Like,
Mhm.
would there be another type of check that I could do to help me see if I recognize somebody that's trying to hide, or just
nope.
perception?
Make
Okay.
a perception check.
Okay. Not investigation.
Unless you're investigating for a specific area or thing.
Well, I mean, I'd be investigating. I guess I could investigate for anybody in a ponytail.
You could investigate the roof for clues.
Oh, I see. Okay, I understand. I understand the investigation now. Yeah. Did I see the ponytail as well? Like, do
You
I
saw
have
the
anything to go
ponytail.
off of? Okay. Then I'll do a perception check.
Okay. So looking around you,
16.
Pardon?
16.
Okay. You saw Kopaka jump down this way, and you see the same things Kopaka does, and you also, because you saw Kopaka go that way, you turned and looked around the back, and you also didn't see any figures that fit the description at all this way, but you see Kopaka jump down next to someone with a ponytail sleeping on a bench, and there's a person with a ponytail walking arm in arm with a woman, giggling, walking towards the buildings over here.
Okay. I guess I don't think that investigating this particular rooftop would be any helpful because they just jumped down.
You never know.
Yeah, I feel if anything, I should have investigated the rooftop when we started, but I can do that later. Well, I see Kopaka over by the person with the on the bench.
Mm-hmm. The one other person with a ponytail is walking arm in arm with a woman walking towards you.
Okay. I guess I'll jump down and walk over to them.
You jump down really close to them and you spook them. Oh, great light! What are you doing on the roof? And what's going on?
I don't believe any of that is your business. Where are you coming from?
Well, we'll have you know that we were just on a charming little picnic up near the fountain.
Which fountain?
Oh, the fountain of the 5 gods.
Where is that? I don't see that on the map.
Well, you would not know where that is in the city.
Oh, okay.
It was not near where you were.
Okay.
Can we
do I believe them? What would that be?
Make an insight check.
Insight, thank you. 10.
You believe them. They seemed genuinely startled when you jumped down. Yeah.
Okay, then I'll just walk over towards Kopaka in case he needs help.
Jaina, you're rounding the corner over here.
You are very choppy.
Yeah,
super choppy.
You're rounding the
yes, my internet connection is unstable, it says. Which is odd because it's not showing frame drops, it's just showing internet instability. So I'm going to keep making noise. Let me know when it stops being so... Say that again?
You're currently fine.
Okay, it was just choppy for that second. Okay. Cool. Jaina, you're rounding the corner. That was on purpose that time. And you see a crowd of people.
And that was the fastest way, right?
That was the fastest way around from what you saw on your way in. Yeah.
Okay.
You could have cut through an alleyway and around this way, but at that point you had not seen where she was jumping.
Okay.
You were basically following her would have been going this way.
Okay.
Okay.
So then can I check for person?
Yes. You see a few more people than the other people do. You see more people over here and like closer to the gate and the other parts of the open plaza. But the only people with a ponytail that you notice are the same two that the others have noticed.
Okay.
And you see Kopaka and Mishiru.
I rolled a 12 and an 18.
In what?
So 18. Well, because I was going to do... I guess it would be
I was just assuming you were able to see everything. I just gave you full perception.
Okay, yeah, because that was... yeah, there's a 23.
Sorry, I kind of shortcut that. Because, like, there's not... Yeah.
So okay, so all I see is that there are 2 people with ponytails. No one else suspicious in the area?
No one else suspicious. And no one else with ponytails. Like, or not that you're super familiar with people, but the same type of people just going about calmly, going about their day. Except for people who are kind of freaked out that a centaur just came charging through and rounded a corner.
Okay, I'm going to... Wait, so what's Kopaka and Michiru doing?
Kopaka just started talking to someone who was asleep on the bench.
Yeah, we're about to harass.
So I guess we'll cut to the person on the bench. Kopaka, did you wake them up?
I didn't wake them up. I just analyzed them to see if they were...
They were actually sleeping.
Okay.
At least as far as you can tell.
Okay.
Because they're snoring in a way that seems regular.
All right. Can I do a perception check inside this crowd?
Yeah.
7.
You don't see anything out of the ordinary in this crowd. You see that over here there are some like shops people are coming in and out of. But you
Damn
don't
it.
see any other suspicious figures in the crowd.
Do I see Mishuru up on the roofs?
You see Mishu has just jumped down and started harassing some people over here, and is
I'm gonna
about to start walking towards you.
I'm gonna run up to Mishuru.
Okay. So you guys are meeting in the middle. Jaina sees that they checked out these people and are meeting in the middle over here. All right, Jaina, do you go over towards them? Or do you stay distant?
I have two choices and I'm trying to okay.
I presented two choices, but you have
Well,
infinite choices.
wait, can I go to where they jumped down and check to see if there are footprints from that area?
Okay, yep. Can you make an investigation check?
Okay, that wouldn't be survival looking for tracks.
Oh, no, sorry, yeah, survival.
Okay.
Because you're looking for tracks specifically, yeah.
21.
All right. You notice that there were heavy imprints in the shape of Mishiru's feet, heavy paw prints in the shape of Kopaka's feet, and what seem to be heavy jump mark imprints from recently of two smaller human feet that landed, and following the tracks, they seem to scuffle and turn around and go into this big building over here.
How far away are Michiru and Kopaka?
They're right nearby because they're that in the middle over here to talk near their tracks.
Okay, so she turns to them, yells "come," and then keeps going. Like
Real
she's trying
quick.
to do this like fast.
Yep.
Real quick before everyone goes inside, do I have enough knowledge to deduce where the rest of the...
So you saw them get up on the roof and jump off of the roof. You saw Jaina sprint away, but you did not see where they ended up or where they went to. Pardon?
Gallop away?
Gallop away. Thank you. Canter away. I'm not good at horse words.
No, she would have been galloping.
Yeah, she would have been galloping. Okay. My bad. Okay, so Cannon, yeah, you don't know exactly where they went. You could guess that they went away and maybe towards the front gate where you came in, generally.
So there's not a lot of hope for me finding them. I shouldn't.
Unless you would like to try to scale roofs and chase after or follow the tracks.
I can't do that. It's okay. I'll just stay where I'm at in front of the shop.
Okay. Let me make a roll real quick. The issue is I play with my dice, so I end up putting them away when I'm not using them, but then it takes me a second to get them back out. Okay. Okay, so the three of you enter this building, and it's an armory. And you're greeted by a shopkeeper who says, "Why, welcome. Welcome to my humble armory. Can I interest you in any leathers or armor plates?"
Has anyone with small feet and a ponytail come into the shop?
This woman has a ponytail. She's wearing heavy, like, she's clad in, like, what seems to be, like, heavy armor, like plate mail. Like, and she's got a brunette ponytail. And, sorry, finish.
Does she have tiny feet? Does she have tiny human feet?
Pardon, are you asking
the same
me
size
to
as the
talk
footprint?
about my feet?
No, I'm asking Kyle.
Well, she's behind a counter. You cannot see.
Oh.
Sorry, I should preface that.
Okay, is there anyone else in the shop?
But she's starting to walk around. There's other people in the shop. There is someone who's got long hair, but their hair is down, and they're perusing some leather. And there is someone who's got short hair, and they are perusing some scale mail.
I asked the shopkeeper, "Is there a back door to this place?"
Well, I keep it locked. It's just for employees only.
Okay. So can I try to see if the feet prints that I saw, do they match any of the people in this room?
So are you?
But I'm not like I'm doing it.
You're going to try to stealthily take a peek at their feet.
Like I'm just.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. Please make
I'm
both
trying to do-
a stealth check and a perception check to see if people notice you staring at their feet.
Stealth check was 17.
For
Okay.
those of you in chat, we would never do this in real life without someone's consent.
Uh-huh.
Wait, what was the second thing? Perception for feet?
Yeah, perception.
Okay.
To
Oh, I wish it was
see-
the other way
to
around.
look-
I got 17 for stealth and 10 for perception.
Okay. You be looking at the feet, and you see the woman who is wearing leather armor and has her hair down, and is looking at wearing leather armor that looks a bit worn, looking at new leather armor. Her shoes and feet are probably close-ish to the right size, maybe a little bit smaller. And the shoes are a little bit dirty, but they're no dirtier than other people's tracks have been here in the dirty, dusty, sand-ish streets of Akros. The short-haired person, their feet are much larger, and you might stare at them a little bit longer, but nothing of note. And the person behind the counter, she has not walked around for you to be able to see her feet currently.
Okay. But
Um,
by the way, who's
me- I would say that-
someone's blooping, by the way.
Oh, someone's blooping.
And I keep thinking it's me.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm sorry, it's my Discord looping.
The people that are shopping and the person behind the counter does not notice you looking at their feet, but Mishiru and Kopaka notice you staring at feet.
Okay, because I can't think of anything else. I'm going to do.
Oh, I'm going to give a chance
Detect
for
magic.
Mishiru and Kopaka. You
Okay.
saw Jaina charge in here and start staring at feet. Do you say anything to each other or to her?
Is she into that?
I mean, I'm not about to judge her. I mean, she has 4 of them, so maybe it's her thing.
But hers are hooves.
Still fear feet. Well, maybe she has a thing for like humanoid feet.
Does she wear horseshoes?
Jaina wears horseshoes.
Well,
or no?
would-
You
wait.
plain unhooved.
Probably,
unshoed.
probably Seeb would have had horseshoes,
Yes,
but I don't
Seeb
think
has
Jaina
horseshoes.
would.
Jaina does not.
Yeah.
Yes, legs for days though.
Can I? Sorry, I'm trying to think. Are we inside the store with
You're
her?
inside the store with her, and she's trying to be sneaky about looking at the feet. You can tell that you two notice, but the other people don't.
Okay.
And you don't know. You've not said anything about feet to them, have you, Jaina, in the past few minutes?
No.
No, all I
Okay.
said was come. I don't know if they were looking at me
She
when
said
I was
come and
looking
she
at the
starts looking
feet.
at feet. I don't know. This is a little.
But then, okay,
sketch.
so from our perspective, because I'm trying to put myself in the
Yes,
perspective
of
of what
course.
I've
Of course.
seen,
Yeah.
like not what I'm hearing.
Mhm.
So basically, she chose to come. We walk in. She asked, "Has somebody walked through here?" They said no, right?
Yeah, I think the first thing I do is actually walk out the door and try to look outside somewhere.
Okay.
I don't
Like-
care about this armory. I care about finding Felix.
Okay, so Kopaka stands back outside. Mishiru is assessing the situation. I'm going to cut back to Ched. Strat sits Ched down. All right, Ren. Oh, I'm so excited. What type of test should I run first?
So you can run any test you want that will get this flower off of my fucking horn.
All right, let me get out my special chair. I'll be one moment. Here it is. All right, please sit down in this comfy chair.
Okay.
You see a chair with looks like it's metallic, and there are straps on the armrests and on the legs where one's legs would line up.
Ched is not smart enough to check to
Alright.
see that that's a red flag, so he just sits
Sits.
gracefully.
All right,
Now,
I'm just going to adjust the seating for you. All right, gives it a little tug, and you're now strapped into this metallic chair. All right.
bro, so thank you so much for checking out this flower.
Oh, believe me, the pleasure is all mine. I'm excited to experiment and see and learn about this mysterious condition.
I've decided, by the way, at this point, where am I doing this? I have one friend. I want to send a message because I know she's fighting, but I want to send a message to Jaina. Just let her know that I'm strapped into a chair.
Wait, I want you to say the exact
Wait.
words that you say and the tone.
Wait, pause real quick. Let me double check your message thing, because that is a great idea. I want to make sure.
Oh, if I'm only 120 feet.
You point a finger toward a creature within range. So you'd have to be pointing it towards Jaina, which would imply you know where direction she is also.
Oh.
And so Jaina might not be someone you could reach, but you know that
Chris,
last you checked, Alistair was just outside that doorway.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Okay.
a different character not far from you.
I will point at Alistar, my second best friend.
Okay, and then whisper to him.
Alistar, so just letting you know, this really cool, like, doctor scientist man is strapping me into a chair. And he has straps, so, like, I'm not going to be able to move for a while, but he's going to check this, like, flower on my head. Okay, I probably won't be back for a while. It seems like I won't be able to do anything. So, like, if I just disappear for a while, help.
I'm going to draw my sword and go into the apothecary.
So, by the way, Alistair, you are able to respond by whisper to the message, and it will go straight back to Chad.
Oh, I can respond to him?
Yeah, so you can reply in a whisper that only... you can hear the message and reply in a whisper that is only heard by Chad.
Oh, then never mind. I'm not... How long does this two-way communication last?
It will be... You get one response.
I get one response and that's it?
Per message that Chad sends.
I see. Okay, all right. I'm gonna not do that. I'm gonna respond back. Chad, you're doing great. Learn as much as you can about the man that is strapping you to the chair. If you need me, I will be right outside. If anything starts to happen that's scary or bad, let me know. Send message.
Can Chad please hear the send message part?
Yes.
Send message.
Right, actually, it's the sound. What's the grinder notification noise?
Oh,
I'll pull it up right now. On YouTube. Don't look at me like that. Grinder.
I'm sure someone else here might have an easier access to the sound. That one. So that's the best. So Chad, I need you to play that every time you send or receive a whisper.
Yes.
Send message.
Circle send message. Okay. So Chad, you hear Alice's message.
Sorry, it just kept replaying.
The grinder's coming from inside the house. From inside the Chad.
Have you seen those videos off topic, of like the couples who will like play the message and videotape their partner just to like fuck with them? Nope.
No. Okay, we need to stop the noise. Chad, you were Strat is navigating around you and looks like be looking through his belongings and opens a drawer and pulls out what seems to be a giant syringe. Can we not?
Right.
Okay, as he pulls up a giant syringe, I start becoming afraid. So that's when I decide to point, message at Alistar, and hey bro, so he's pulling a giant syringe. I don't think this is good. I'm gonna try to deceit him. Meanwhile, can you come get the others, bro, and save me?
Oh my god.
So meanwhile, while that's happening, I whisper, I'm going to the doctor. Can I do a persuasion check to the doctor and try to ask him why he's...
Tell me what you're attempting to do, and I'll tell you if you need to make a check.
I'm going to say, bro, I'm a really strong bro.
I don't need a syringe. I can do this sober.
Oh no, this is not. This is to give you a sample, not to take a sample. And besides, had no intention of using anesthetic.
So, bro, you're just trying to use that syringe to take a sample from my flower.
Well, let's see. How well trained are you in alchemy? Because what I was actually trying to do is I wanted to take a sample not from just there, but also from your bloodstream, and then test it with this substance over here, which we call Merzibo, and then see how they react together. It's just the first of many preliminary tests I wanted to run to see if I can identify how your flower functions.
Can
Alchemy.
I do an insight check to see how trustworthy this bro is?
Yeah.
Oh, great. I got a 6.
All right. He said a bunch of fancy magic science words to you, and you believe him. You're like, oh,
Okay,
he sounds like he
bro.
knows a lot more than I do about this stuff. He knows what
You
he's
go
doing.
for it.
Okay, before that happens,
Mhm.
I'm going to walk into the shop with my sword drawn and yell at the shopkeep, stop right where you are.
So Strat turns around with the giant syringe. Oh, Alistair, why are you back in the shop? I thought you were on your way out.
Put the needle down and step away from the goat man.
Oh, I was about to start running some of my tests, though.
Indeed. That'll have to wait for another time.
Alistair?
Mhm.
And release
Wait.
stages.
Wait, I need to say something to Alistair. Alistair, I want to try something.
You want to try something, Chad?
Yes. Okay.
You mean in
Here's the
my
thing.
in the experimental process?
I think I want to remove this flower from my horn. You want to remove the poison from the guests.
Uh-huh.
So let's say this. Dr. Scientist Man, you are allowed to test this flower and to run some tests. But if you're trying to kill me and if you fuck up, Alistar will kill you. So if you're really trying to run some tests, which by the way could help figure out something about poisoning our guests, then you may proceed. But if you are trying to kill me and if you fuck up, Alistar will kill you.
Well, my friend, I was never intending to kill you, but I was trying to learn about your flower, and, you know, I don't know what harm may or may not be done to you in the process, but I think it would be all in the name of science and helping the greater good.
Okay, I'm going to walk over and I'm just going to untie Chad. Chad, I'm
Strats
to
puts
go.
his arm out to try to stop you.
Okay, so I'm going to take out my sword and I'm going to wave it very gently in front of his face. And then I'm going to ask him, do you want to know where I got this sword?
I don't particularly care much about swords, but it sounds like it has an interesting story, so I'm very interested to hear. Especially if it has some sort of magical
Sword-
properties that I could examine.
I would like to attack the doctor.
You would
You're
like
currently
to
strapped
attack
into
the
a
doctor?
chair, so what are you going to try to do?
We're,
You know what? I'm gonna try to use hideous laughter.
Okay. Or vision. Oh yeah, hideous laughter. Okay.
Wait, I need a feather waved into the air, so I don't think I can do that. Okay, I'm not gonna do anything. I can't do that.
You don't need anything for vicious mockery though. If you wanted to use
Okay.
vicious mockery,
I'm gonna use vicious wait, do I have enough? Sorry, I've used.
vicious mockery is a cantrip. So,
Okay, I'm gonna use vicious mockery. Or sorry, vicious mockery then.
So you're going to insult Strat. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. So insult him, and I'll see, and then we'll see. But
I got a 2.
What?
Wait, don't you roll a d4?
I need
Perfect.
you to sling your insults, and then I'm gonna roll to see if they take the psychic damage.
Okay, bro, your face looks like your mom didn't love you. Bro, it looks like you don't have any friends. Bro, I wish you were as smart as science as you were at like making bros. Bro, it looks like the last time you got laid
was like in a really long time ago. Bro, it looks like you go home alone at night, you cry, and then you drink yourself to sleep. Bro, it looks like your toenails are so big, they might cut your face off.
Yeah, now I feel bad for the shopkeeper.
Strat drops the syringe and put his hands over his ears. What the fuck? What are you saying these things? Ow, that hurt.
Okay, now I'm gonna walk over, untie Ched, pick Ched up, and leave the apothecary. Do you need me to make a strength check?
If you're going to carry Ched, then yes.
Yeah, let me do it. 1 sec. $17.
All right, you swoop up Ched and his loot, which is on the floor next to him.
Right, that too. That's important.
Strat is kind of all disoriented and is okay. Well, gosh, you're so mean. You know what? I don't want to help you. Just go. Just go. Oh, my head hurts. He took 2 psychic damage because you rolled a 2 on the d4. All right, you carry Ched away.
Yep. Now we can probably switch to the other part.
Okay, yeah, we're switching to the other people now.
Jaina's what Jaina was gonna do was, because it's the only thing I could think of, because I know that they just went in here.
Mhm.
I'm gonna do detect magic.
Okay.
30 feet.
Now, does that get rid of your? Does
Oh
that
wait,
require
wait. I
concentration
was
that
just
would remove
wait.
your
I was just wondering
mark?
if I was doing was I doing perception check while my hunter's mark was on to find my quarry? So does that mean I got advantage? Does that count?
Actually, yes. So roll your original perception was 10. Is that correct? So roll again to see if you get higher than 10.
Yeah. 9.
Okay.
So it's a 10. Okay, so not knowing what else to do, but I'm gonna do detect magic. Detect magic, 30 feet.
Okay. You detect an aura emanating from the person with the long hair that's down in the
tiny
leather
feet?
armor.
The
Pardon?
tiny feet or the person on the other side?
She's the one with tinier feet. You
Wait.
detect an aura, some sort of maybe stealth or cloaking magic coming off of her.
Wait, is this the shopkeeper or the
No,
person
this is
that
the
has the tiny
customer
feet?
wearing leather.
This is
looking
the
at them.
customer with the tiny feet. I
This is
like
the
how I
customer
was
with the
going in the
tiny
right
feet.
direction with the tiny feet.
Uh-huh.
Which way are they facing?
She is facing the... If you walk into the shop, on the right is leather, on the left is armor. She's facing the right wall. She's wearing leather, looking at leather armor.
Is she watching me?
No, she's staring at the wall.
Which way are Michiru and Kopaka facing?
Kopaka just walked outside. Michiru is standing behind you. You're in like the center of the room.
Okay. Michiru. Okay, so how far away am I from the person? And how far away are Michiru?
1 sec.
Dude, short hair. Oh, is this your way of making like a map
It's my
of where we all
2-second
are?
map.
Okay.
That did not format well at all.
I
but
understood what
basically
you were
you're-
saying.
The shop isn't very big. So
Okay,
you're like
so
just out of arm's reach of this person
if I
facing
think,
the wall.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to
Oops.
look at Michiru and do the eye dart to the person that has the aura.
Okay,
Like-
Misha, are you picking up what she's putting down? Oops.
Yes.
And then I'm also going to mouth at him. And that's her going, "Where's Kopaka?"
Oh no, he left. Let's see.
Misha, did you just like shrug or like?
No, I just like, yeah. He was like, he left.
I didn't leave. I just went outside to go.
So I'm going to so when Michiru says that, I'm going to go, "Darn, I was really looking for someone. Where's my companion?" And I'm pretending, and I'm walking out the door, passing, like trying to do kind of a pass the baton shoulder pat on Michiru.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go outside to try to find Kopaka. That way, basically, I'm trying to be like, "Michiru, you stay here. I want to get Kopaka." And then I just want to immediately get Kopaka, and I'm trying to get inside. But do whatever you want to do, Kyle, in terms of what Michiru sees once I leave.
Say that again. I'm sorry. So I heard the part. So wait, what are you attempting?
Jaina
Mm-hmm.
is signaling to Michiru to watch
Okay,
the
gotcha.
person with the aura.
And you're walking.
And I said, "Darn, I was looking for someone." And then I walk out, but I kind of like try to stealthily pat Michiru to like not go with me.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then I'm trying to get Kopaka in order
Pause
to
1 sec, Christina.
come back inside. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the tier 1 sub, Brando 30 Rock. I hope you're enjoying your time here. It was so nice to have you part of our community now, because you not just followed, but you also subscribed. Can we get some love for them in the chat?
Oh, I saw this. I saw the notification this time.
Yes, I
Yay.
switched it around because I was moving things on my screen before. I like buried the alert thing beneath.
It's Maddie Bridges. We
Yeah,
love
that's
Maddie
right.
Bridges.
Oh,
Thanks, Matt.
yay.
We adore you.
Yeah, Maddie Bridges is our friend.
Well, welcome. Thank you. So, Jaina on her way out nudges Michiru or implies to stay put and watch, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because I'm trying
Jaina walks
to
outside.
get
Michiru,
Kopaka.
what is your
Okay.
MO?
So what is the person with a ponytail doing?
There's no one with a ponytail in here, but there is a.
Wait, I
someone
thought there
with
was.
She has long hair that is down and not currently up in a ponytail.
Oh, okay. But
But
the person with the short feet, the small feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is she doing?
She's staring at the wall of leather armor.
Okay. So I walk over. Okay, so I'm gonna just walk over and just be like, "Oh, girl, which one do you think is the most slimming? I'm really trying to go for a specific aesthetic. What do you think?"
The woman turns to you and makes eye contact, and you kind of recognize her. You recognize her as the woman who greeted you outside the gate today, who is trying to attack Alistair.
Oh, shit.
Oh, well, that's not really what I care about. I mostly look for stealth and strength, but slimming wise, well, I don't know what could help you.
Oh. Speaking of stealth, is there anything here that would be good for that? I don't think it really works on you, but what do you think? What would be go here for stealth? You know, like if you're watching somebody from like a rooftop and you don't want to be seen or caught or noticed, like what would you recommend?
Starts staring at you. And she's silent for a second.
Is there something on my face?
Yes, actually. I think there's a little something right here. She punches you in the face.
Oh, wait.
Let me...
Has Jaina, because Jaina was trying to be really fast. She really basically was like, "Michiru, stay here. Kopaka, where are you? Grab him and come back inside."
You're all fucked up now. You should
Make
not.
sure you take
have
5
made her
damage.
You should not have made her angry.
I'm also really confused. You're
she-
saying that she looks, even though she has the aura that I see, she looks like the person
Well, you couldn't
that was
really
mad at
see
Alistair?
her face very clearly because she was so close to the wall and staring at it, but Mishu got right up next to her, and when Mishu talked to her, she could tell.
Oh, no. I was just saying, like, she has an aura about her, though. I don't know what it is.
She has an aura about her.
Okay.
But he still was able to see something in her face that he recognized.
Okay. But yeah, so I was trying to really quickly be like,
Grab Kopaka and bring him back in. Well, Kopako, you were looking around outside, right?
Yes, I'm looking around outside. I'm being responsible, not just shaking down random people because of it.
So Kopaka, while you're outside, you see people kind of going about their business, doing regular stuff, and then you feel a tug from behind as Jaina is tugging at you.
Okay. Do I notice it's her?
Jaina and Kopaka interact.
No, that's it. I'm literally just pulling him and I'm trying to drag him aside.
Okay.
No, that's it.
So do you resist being pulled, Kopaka? Because you might not see as her originally.
And it's her. So what do you need?
Come here.
What is it?
Person with funny aura. I found them.
What does that mean?
I'm pulling on him. I'm just I'm going inside.
As this is going down, you hear Mishru make an oof noise or something like that, or it sounded
I let go of him and I run.
And you turn around and you see, basically you reach the entrance of the store at the same time this other person does. So this woman.
I put my hands on their shoulders.
What?
I put my hands on their shoulders.
Don't do that.
Okay, you put your hand on her shoulders, and she knees you in the chest portion of your horse torso. What is your armor class?
13.
Wait, how much damage was I supposed to take?
You took 5 damage from her.
Oh, there's not armor against this?
Okay, so Jaina, you kind of got checked in the chest with her knee, and you kind of turn a bit, but you what was I about to say? You don't get seriously injured. You don't let go of her.
Sweet.
You're kind of grappling. Do you want to say anything to her? She kind of grumbles, "Move!"
And I go, "Reveal yourself. Whatever's going on with you. Why were you on the roof? What's going on?"
At this point, behind you, the shop, or behind her, in the shop, the shopkeep pulls out a sword and points it at the back of her. "What are you doing in my shop?" Causing a ruckus. So she's kind of surrounded on both sides. The woman who you might now recognize as Xanthopus is surrounded by you in the front and the shopkeep with the sword in the back. I'm going to cut back to Alistair. And
gracefully, so beautifully holding Ched in his arms.
Yes. So you all have emerged from the back of Strat's apothecary, unstrapped, and holding Ched.
I'm going to very gently set Ched down and pat him on the head and say, "Ched, are you okay?"
You're muted.
Bruh, I was honestly just trying to figure out what happened to my flower. As soon as he started strapping, I just had to message you because it looked like it was a no-go.
It's okay, Ched.
The good news is that he's not going to charge me for whatever vase just broke from Felix.
That is good news. We should probably try and find the rest of the party. They've been gone.
Yeah, what's happening to them? I'm very confused.
I think Jaina saw someone on the roof and then chased after that person.
Okay.
Could we do... Oh, here's one. Can I do a survival check to see if I can track Jaina's horse prints?
Yeah.
Because there are not that many centaurs in the city.
Correct.
I will make a survival check as well. Why not?
All right.
Wait, Chad, don't walk in front of... Because he doesn't... Chad also has...
Chad can't hear you. Chad can't hear you.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I got a 23. So
Okay.
it should be fine.
I just made 11 to make sure I can keep up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're able to follow the hoof prints of the horse, and you follow this path around this way, and you probably make it about this way towards the shop when into your vision range you see the torso of of a horse, Jaina, sticking out of the entranceway of this building with Kopaka on the side.
Okay. Chet, I think we found the right place.
Bro, what's happening?
My guess is something bad. Should we
Hey,
get closer?
bros.
All right, so it sounds like Chet is rushing up. Is that accurate?
Yes, I am rushing up trying to check on my bros.
So,
I think we've lost Felix, friends.
all right, so, oh, Christina, you're muted.
Just so I understand, which person is this in front of me?
It's Xanthopus, who is the. So when you first came to the gates today, there were two people who recognized Alistair. There was the friendly general, and there was the angry person who was trying to almost like attack Alistair and called him a traitor. And she is the one that you're holding in front of you.
Okay. But they have an aura. Something's
They
up.
have some sort of magical aura. It is now fading rapidly.
Okay. I want to keep holding them because I want to wait until whatever this aura is dissipates to see if if something happens.
Oh, shouldn't do that.
So I'm gonna say, Ted, is the woman, where's Alistair?
Bro, Ched's with Alistair's right behind me. He totally saved me from an evil doctor. Are you okay?
Alistair, you're now close enough that you can actually peek and you recognize that this is Xanthopus.
This person, Alistair, why would she be on the roof?
Because she's spying for an opportunity to kill me. You can let her go. Whatever conspiracy is going on, she's absolutely not a part of it. And
But
the
then
longer
why is she all magical?
Jaina, if you hold her too long, she'll just cut your arms off.
Well, she tried to kick me and she didn't do a very good job.
I'm telling you, you should let her go.
Not until
For
she
once,
stops
I
being
agree with
magical.
this wretch. That's
I said my thing. Not until she stops being magical. Because the magic annoys me and I want to know what it is. That's what Jane is thinking.
Chill
Zen.
out, you
What kind of magic
centaur
do you have on
brute.
you now?
Okay, just until it fades, I'm just still holding her. I want to know what happens.
It is now
So does
faded,
Jaina.
and she's like, it's much clearer now. Like the leather armor that she was wearing now appears to be like much darker in color, almost like it's like stealth wear, and her like feet and shoes look like they have a little bit more grit with them, and also like they're well worn. Like basically, her outfit was disguised to look different, and is now not.
Jaina, another thing to consider, if you don't release her, she does command a certain amount of troops here in the city. They could become an enormous problem for us if they wanted to be.
At this
Well,
point,
I don't know. I don't know.
the woman, the shopkeep who's holding a sword up to her, recognizes her. Oh, Commander Xanthopus, I'm so sorry. Why did you come not as yourself? I have nothing to explain to you. That's her response.
Well, she was waiting because she thought maybe it was Felix in disguise, and now it's not Felix. So she lets go, and she turns to Alistair and goes, well, she thought she had a disguise, as she did, but she's not Felix. So then where did Felix go?
By the way, Mishiru is still in the
Because she
shop
does
during
not
this time.
she does not care about her Xanthopus or whatever her name is.
Mhm.
She only cared because she thought that it was going to be Felix.
Understood. We need to find Felix if we can.
Okay. So with Mishiru in the shop, Xanthopus in the opening of the shop behind Jaina, the rest of the party is outside the shop, and a declaration that they want to find Felix. That is where we're going to end our session tonight. We went a bit long, so sorry about that, everyone.
No worries.
And
It was a good session. It was a good
Was.
feedback.
any
what
highlights that y'all want to point out?
I always like being carried by someone, so thank you, Alistair, for carrying me. Hashtag Chalistar.
Hashtag Manny.
Hashtag Manny. which is
Minotaur Manny.
Minotaur Nanny. Manny.
So I for sure thought that Ched and I were just going to sit out the rest of the session, and then Ched went and got kidnapped and gave me something really fun
He
to do.
didn't
so-
get kidnapped. He went willingly.
I have to say, by the way, my grand plan was very smart for Ched.
It was for Ched.
Yeah.
So I think we're still live, right?
We're still live, yeah.
So I think what we did best this time, like not a specific highlight, but I think that we got into the characters best of everything.
Yes, I agree.
Honestly, my favorite moment was actually I thought you did a very good job of bouncing between the different storylines that were happening.
Yeah, it was really good.
Good, I appreciate that. I know one thing I wish I had done more is have better visuals prepared. Like, for example, like having visuals for all of the people, which would make it easier in like little spaces to move you around in like the shop and stuff like that.
I liked the map. I thought the map was pretty good.
I like the map too. I think that I could have done more with it though.
One thing that I'll also point out that I thought you really nailed the session, Kyle, was even though there were two different storylines and two different groups going in that were separate, we both ended up in the same narrative position as like both suspecting Felix independent of each other. I really liked that. I thought that was really cool because it was like when we got back to the group was like, oh, there's something wrong with Felix. And it's like, yes, I also think there's something wrong with Felix because Felix fucking die.
And coming back to that conclusion, coming back together and, oh no, where's Felix?
Is that a baby Yoda Snuggie?
It's a baby Yoda blanket.
Oh. It looks comfy. But we now have a sound effect for Ched sending his messages.
And now Alistair must always say "send message"
Yes.
because he doesn't know how he doesn't know how message works.
Yep.
That's me talking. Me talking to Siri. Siri, please tell the person. Okay, blah blah blah. Thank you, Siri. Yeah. So next week, I mean, y'all, the merchants are heading. The merchants that are not Felix, heading back to Meltus to deliver the supplies. So hopefully the people are stabilized. But
What is that sound? Oh. Sorry.
By the way, can I just say a highlight for me was if this person, whoever this person is, because I don't know Alistair's backstory, not only that I noticed them, so I saw a super stealthy person. I found them. I discovered them with the detect magic, and I held her, and she tried to kick me, and I got no damage. So I am not intimidated by this person one bit.
As opposed to Mishiru, who got
punched in the face.
Yeah.
Cheap shot.
She got max rolls with some of that stuff. So for you, Mishiru, and then not for Jaina.
But you don't roll defense? I don't know how this works.
She kind of sucker punched you in the face.
Oh.
So it was a surprise round.
Yeah.
Is that what you did, right?
Yeah.
She's gonna get a knife in the back at some point.
So Jaina thinks very little of. So Alistair's like, you should let her go. You should do blah blah blah. She's scary. And Jaina's like, dude, she kicked me and it didn't hurt. And I found her like.
And she's not Felix.
And she's not Felix.
Remember,
I'm like all over this person.
At least Ched and Alistair actually gleaned some information from Strat, the apothecary, like some insight into Farika and what their destination is in terms of saving the wedding guests. Or what?
Oh, yeah, we didn't tell the party that.
You didn't tell the party that yet, but you, as a reminder for next time, if you
we should talk about that next time.
Yeah. Yeah. So because you are very close in here. If I go back to the map screen, like you're probably half a day's travel out from hypothetical creature with recipe location.
Okay, who is that this time? Jonathan, I see your face.
Not me. I was laughing. It was not me. It wasn't me. I was in navigation during tasks.
It's not me because I don't even know anything about Grindr.
See, that makes you the most suspicious, Christina.
Yeah, I think it's Christina.
All right. On that note, everyone, good night. Stay safe. We will see you at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time next week. Always fun stuff going on here on the Lags channel. We really appreciate Brando 30 Rock. Thank you for the follow and subscription tonight. That money goes towards the LA Gayming Society, which is an awesome organization. And yes, we're excited for you all. So good night. Sleep tight.
Bye.
Don't let the Cheds bite.